Check it out, yo. Feel the rhythm on the bass bar. Man up, feel the rhythm on the bass bar. Hip and you come and come around one test me. Jumping up, jumping up. Bite all my stress. Temperature is rising up. 2,000 people on the dance floor. Jumping up. Temperature is rising.
What's happening, Cabbie? What's going on, brother, man?
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing tonight, man?
Are we live?
We are live, brother. We are live. We are live. We
We're
are
fucking-
live.
We're live
Mhm.
streaming.
We're live streaming, brother. We got a lot to do tonight, a lot to talk about. We let everybody know at 11 o'clock we're going over to Rumbo. You know, show us some love. Cabbie is making his debut. This is our pilot episode, and we're going to mix it up. And Cabbie, you know, guys, is a legend. Legendary Cabbie who won that fight against Stuttering John. We'll talk about that. Cabbie's got a lot of stories. And what's going on? What you want to talk about first, Cabbie?
Let's talk about Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. I hear you're gay for Tom Cruise. Is that true?
I am gay. I'm very gay for Tom Cruise.
Really? Tell me all about this.
I think that he is the most fascinating actor that we've ever seen in our lifetime. How many guys do their own stunts and are in their late 50s and he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but he puts his life on the line every time he fucking goes out and makes a movie?
True, very true. He's got. I heard his security team is like 10 grand a week or even more than that, just paying his security team to be around him, protecting him and his family. I mean, he makes a lot of money. What's he worth? Like $1 billion with all the movies he's made, all the Mission Impossibles.
I think he's worth like 800 million.
Woo! Plus, he's a big Scientology, isn't he? Isn't he part of that group too? Down here in Florida, the Scientology people.
You know what's funny? I actually have a Scientology story.
Really?
I was in LA back in the day when I worked in Minneapolis radio,
Right?
and I went to the Church of Scientology in LA, and I wanted to see what it was all about,
Right.
and they wouldn't talk to me.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't know if it was because I was big and fat and had tattoos, or
I don't know. I heard this about Scientology because I kind of went into this, the L. Ron Hubbard office down in Tampa bookstore, and they tried to solicit me. First of all, if you're on the lower bottom of the totem pole, you have to get divorced. You can't be married. You got to wear those goofy uniforms. They program you. All you do is go from where they put you up at a house and they bus you over to this work over downtown Clearwater, and you're like mules back and forth with a white shirt, black pants. And then on Thursdays, you get to go out and they take you out in the bus to the show, and they keep all your paychecks. You only get an allowance. They pay all your stuff. Now, if you're a higher up, the levels, that's when you can be married. But if you try to start out with them and you're married, you cannot join them unless you're divorced. It's fucked up.
let me ask you this: did you read Dianetics?
No, I didn't. But I started looking into it. But I was gonna, when I first looked into Scientology, which was Ron L. Hubbard with Dianetics, and then I just kinda read a little bit of it, and I just said, nah, this ain't for me, man. It's a cult, man. I'm already fucking I got enough brain damage. I don't need to be fucking brainwashed by these cocksuckers here, man. What the fuck? Can you imagine me being put me under a spell? Shit.
Oh shit!
I'm fucked up enough, man.
You could be under my spell.
All right, baby. So you're gay for Tom Cruise, and I'm gay for Elvis Presley.
Ah,
Yeah,
yo, you're gay for Elvis Presley?
yeah, man. Elvis.
Let me
was
ask
shit.
you:
Huh?
fat Elvis or skinny Elvis?
It don't matter. I'd take him any way I could have. Elvis.
Dude, when he was fat and sweating, wearing those fucking suits that he used to wear,
Oh yeah,
he was the most sexy fucking rock star that ever lived.
he was the man. He could do it, man.
He was dude, Elvis. I honestly think Elvis was one of those guys that could do no wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though he died in a shithole, Graceland.
That's what they say. I don't believe he died. I believe he just died about 4 or 5 years ago. I think he faked his death to get out of show business because he became an undercover a federal agent at large, and he took down some mafia dudes, and they put a hit on him, and he went in the witness protection program. There was too many Elvis sightings throughout the years, and he wound up retiring as an FBI agent. And this guy did a story on HBO about him. It's called Elvis Found Alive. And he went to the house of James Burroughs, who used to be Elvis Presley's name that he used when he used to check in the hotels when he was the king of rock and roll. And
Okay.
and he interviewed this guy, and he took one of Elvis's ex-girlfriends with him. And at the end of the interview, she said it was definitely Elvis, and Elvis revealed himself, and he just passed away
Get
5
the
years
fuck
ago.
out of here. I've never
Yeah,
seen that.
you got to see Elvis is live. Go on Amazon. Elvis live. Elvis lives. That's right. This guy.
Elvis lives.
Yeah, Elvis found alive. That's what it's called. Elvis found alive.
You
We got a
can't
lot of
tell me to go on Amazon because I'm on fucking Amazon right now and I'll go
find it.
there.
Elvis found alive. That's what it's called. You'll see he'll be a picture of Elvis with kind of an orange background with his how he looks, gray hair, but it's Elvis. And watch that. I'll watch that after the show tonight. We got a lot of people here with us, man. Let's say hello to somebody. It says, let's read some of this for you, Cabbie. It says, Dom Dillinger. Hey, Cabbie, tell us 3 stories again. Tell us the 3 stories again. They want you to tell 3 stories.
Oh, they want to know about my tattoo on my neck.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Those are for 3 people that died because of me.
Really? So each tattoo symbolizes a person?
Well, no, it's the number 3, and 3 people died because of me,
Wow.
directly or indirectly. I would say probably indirectly, but 2 of them were directly.
Okay. By your hands or by just from like self-defense or something like that or war or
Nah, dude, straight up killing.
straight up killing? So like a hitman killing. Like you were out and you went on a job and you offed them? Something like that?
Well, I can't say that, but
Okay, all right. But so I get the gist of it. I understand. So you've told this story obviously because they're all talking about it. So you know today's Veterans Day, correct? And you are a veteran, so I salute you, my friend.
thank you.
Yes, thank you. And we got another for sure. I know we got one veteran in an Air Force guy by the name of Dela. You want to salute Dela? Let's salute Dela. Hello, Dela.
Let's salute Dela.
Let's salute Dela. There we go, Dela. That's for Dela. We got Barry Stevens with us. What's crazy about Cabbie? They want to know what's crazy about you, dog.
Well, I mean, that's the funny thing. I was never really crazy. I
Right.
just was being myself.
That's it. That's the way I feel. I mean, people say I'm fucking nuts. Well, mostly they just say I'm full of shit. You know, I don't know how more of a guy, how more if I could pour my heart out about my stories. I tried to make a little joke the other day about, they didn't get it though. Some guy writes me, 50 Cent wasn't in Las Vegas. He was, no shit, buddy. I said, I made a joke about 50, I'm 57, 57. And someone said, well, take your $half ass, come back later, you know? It was just a joke I was making a story about. And this guy got all fucking bent out of shape. But you know how it is. These fucking trolls, they want to troll you and they want to be somebody, a star, you know. But
Well, I'm new to the whole internet podcasting thing, so I don't know about the trolls yet,
yeah,
but I'm learning.
yeah, I'm still learning too. I'm like 4.5 months that I've been streaming. I've been on this channel for a year, but just dabbling a little bit with videos and stuff. But I've been live about 5 months now. So I'm learning this shit too, man, as we go.
Let me ask you, how'd you
Yeah.
get your start in the podcasting world? Like, what'd you do? You just said, fuck it?
I came on June 5th, and I went on the Shuley Network show, the BS show, and I came out, and they changed the time on me, and I had a couple appointments with my family. So I went from my car with my whole family in the car, and from that day on, it became how I kidnapped my family hostage to watch me be on the BS show, and then I got back and forth arguing with a couple people on the BS show. So I came on as a Batman. You know, I put this Batman costume on, and I was doing crazy things. And I was in the chat rooms arguing with all the chatters, telling them to motherfuck this, to suck this, to eat that. You know, they were chewing me up, and I just blew up from the chat room. I'm like every day.
Why? Let me ask you this: why did you put a Batman costume on? Like, what was the? You just didn't want to be known. Like you.
No. They knew me.
You wanted to try to remain anonymous.
No. I already had shown myself. Batman is one of my. I have all the Batman outfit. I have the cowl, the 1966 Adam West cowl. I have the whole outfit, and that was just one of my characters. I even did the Joker. You know, I did the Joker too. I did a real good Joker. I sent the Joker video to Howard Stern because this is what they turned me into. They made me a psycho. The phone guys at Howard Stern turned me into a psycho because I used to fight with them every day. They never let me in. They put me in the queue and leave me there. You know, I got on Howard one time in 2019 on February 6th. Had 5 minutes with him and Robin, and they couldn't get back on. So I went nuts. I flipped out. I got crazy.
I love that you remember how long you were on the air with Howard Stern.
Yeah, 4 minutes, 58 seconds. The whole time it was on. And they say
how much time do you think I got airtime? Did I get good airtime?
I would definitely say you got good airtime, man. I would probably say, yeah, you definitely got good airtime. I mean, I was just static with my little 4 minutes, man. I imagine you had hundreds of hours of airtime, man. I mean, were you one of those guys that just walked in? You didn't have to go to Bob.
Can I give you an honest story?
Sure, absolutely.
Stuttering John is actually the reason I was on Howard Stern's show.
Really? He was the phone guy?
He was the phone guy, and he came in one day and he said something. I forgot what the fuck he said. He came in the studio I was working in down the hall, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this guy, man. This fucking asshole.
So he rubbed you off the wrong way right up the bat.
He thinks he is. So I went in, and that was probably the impetus for the fight, because that was the first time I was ever on the show, and I think he was jealous. Like, he was jealous that Stern was giving me so much attention.
So you hit it off with Howard right away then, I assume. I mean, right away he took a liking to you.
You know, it's funny. I used to see him in the hallway before I ever went on the show, and I would say hi or whatever, because it wasn't like he moved with a security detail.
Right.
But you could just tell when he was going into work, he was going to work. Like, right. He would walk down that hall with a I don't know how you say it. Like, he fucking commanded the room. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, of course I can understand that. Now, his security detail back then was Ronnie Munn and Casey, right? Casey was part of that.
Yeah.
Right. Ronnie was like his driver bodyguard, and Casey was like the guy that ran in the back with him as a bodyguard.
Can I tell you something about Casey?
Sure, absolutely.
That fucker is strong.
Oh, I could see. He still works out, you know. He still fucking goes to the gym and works out and boxes and everything.
You talk to him often?
He talked to me. He called me. He called me today. But he was trying to find out. I guess somebody gave out his phone number and doxed him, and he was just checking everybody that had a phone number. And he says, I'm asking everybody, but I think he figured out who it was. And I think I know who it was too. And because of when he went on Point Dabble yesterday, he gave out some information. He got permission from the person, and he shared this information. And I think a certain goat. You know that's what he's called today, the goat. He's the goat. You know that, right?
Who?
Stuttering John. He's the goat. He's proud to be called the goat. That's what he is, the goat. That's what he is in the Dabbleverse, the goat. It's all about him, the goat. That's what he claims. So I think he might have been. He's the type of guy that would do that, just to fucking because he's an asshole. You know what I'm saying? You know him better than anybody. But there's someone in the chat room that says this is what this guy says, and I'm really not really liking this guy saying this because it's untrue. Stuttering John nearly took your fucking life in the ring, Cabbie. Oh my God, is that so untrue? Here's my take. Because it was Howard Stern promoting and John was his guy, I think they rigged that whole fucking thing to make John win. I think that you never had a chance going in, even if you beat his ass, you weren't going to win.
The only way I won that fight is if I would have knocked him out.
Correct. Then they had no choice. I think it was all rigged, and I think John knows that, and I think he holds that deep, dark secret inside of him, and he should come out and tell the truth. Because I saw the fight. I watched it over and over the last 5-6 days, and there's no hands down you won. You landed more punches, there's just hands down you won. So anybody wants to disagree with that, they're fucking sick in the head. You definitely won that fight. So let's get back to so you met Casey and those dudes. Casey, you also met at Howard Stern at over there at the studio. Is that where you met Casey, or did you know Casey from when you were a cab driver?
No, I met Casey working in the radio.
Okay, yeah, Casey's he's a good dude, man. He's we talk a lot, we text back and forth, and he's been really kind to me. I was at a show as like you were, and he's just a good guy, man. And he's got
he's a very positive man.
Very positive, yes, very very positive. Very
he knew when to walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess you're right. I think a lot of people walked away, and in a sense, when Shuley made his move during the pandemic to go to Alabama, and then they offered him this and this, and he decided no, it's not going to work for my family. So I mean, in a sense, he decided to just walk away from his 15-year career, and look at what he's built. It took him a couple of years, but I mean, he's just built a phenomenal thing with the YouTube channel and the BS show and the Uncle Rico show. And have you ever watched his Uncle Rico show? I know you were on the BS show. I think you were on Shuley's BS show, but did they have you on the Uncle Rico show? That's the show they made about John.
I know. I have not.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to have you. They ought to have you on Dabble Point because you got so much to contribute to that show on Fridays. That would be phenomenal because you could tell some deep, dark secrets about the goat. The goat is he's a guy that fucked me over too. I was one of his, I befriended him and was true to him, and he just fucking sucks the life out of you, man. He sucks the life out of you and just makes you into a rotten person, Just you get that vibe off of him, And yeah, I don't anything good about him that we could roast him on?
Honestly, I don't. I really, because I never got too close personal wise with anybody that I ever worked with, because I always tried to keep it like people used to say, oh, you used to hang with Howard. Dude, I hung out with Howard a few times.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't a sycophant.
Right.
I didn't fucking hang out with him every day. I didn't try to be his friend.
Right.
He was my work compadre.
Correct. Was he a good guy to hang out with?
He was decent, man. Freaking picked up the check every time, for God's sakes.
Well, that's interesting to know. That's good news. Was this back when he was still single, or was he like after his divorce, his first divorce, when you guys were really hanging out, or was he still married?
He was a Jew.
Oh, he was a Jew. Well, he is Jewish, correct?
Is he really, though?
I think he is. I think he's Jewish. I know he's Jewish something. He's got definitely Jewish, I believe. But he grew up in a pretty rough area in New York, didn't he? He went to a very bad school, an all African American school. He was like the one.
Yeah, that's what he claims.
Yeah, got beat
Do
up a
we
lot. He
know if
said.
that's really real?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I heard that he was pretty straightforward. And, he didn't want no phoniness on his show. I don't know. This is what I'm hearing from different guys that worked with him, saying that he was pretty straight faced about I don't know his people that were booked, that there had to be a lot of truth to them. He wanted to be an honest show, but tell it like it was. I don't know,
Well, no
man.
wonder why he liked me, because I gave it to him like it was.
Exactly. That's what I heard he was. He didn't put up with no bullshit. Um, but you got to do other things in radio, didn't you? You said you worked down in Minnesota. You were part of a radio station down there, and then you came to New York and you did some radio there. And
I actually, when I was in Minnesota, I worked on, of all things, I always wanted to be in radio. Like, they talk about Stern saying he always wanted to be in radio.
right,
So I always wanted to be in radio too. And I actually ended up being a part of the morning show in Minneapolis that I grew up listening to.
really,
Yes.
that's
And
awesome.
we had a 27 share.
Okay,
It was
well,
called the Tom Bernard Show,
Tom
the
Bernard show. Okay,
KQ Morning Show.
okay, and that's what you
Yeah.
were part of. And how
Yeah.
old how old were you when you got on that when you first got on that show? Were you just out of college or
No, I was God, I want to say I was in my 30s.
oh you were in so late? Okay, this was later on. What did you do? What did you do when you got out of school? Were you doing radio? Were you in another field or
I was, well, I joined the army,
right? How old when you
and
joined the
then
army?
God, what was I? I was fucking 19, and I was smoking crack
Wow.
like a fucking crackhead.
Yeah, I did that too. I smoked crack one time for 10 years. You know that?
You fell in love with the devil's penis?
Oh, I did. I did. I did. I sucked on the glass stick for about 10 years.
Yeah, me too, baby. I sucked on the glass dick. It's
Yeah.
funny. I have an aide, right? And he's a really cool black dude named Lewis. And I was like, yo, can you find me crack? And he's like, I'll never find you crack. And I was like, come on, man. Just
Oh man,
one bump. I just need one
no,
bump.
no. I could never, ever, ever. Never. I know. Never again. But I watch so many people smoke their car, their fucking house, their
Oh
fucking
my
boat.
God, dude. I used to I smoked so hard.
Yeah, I was a pretty. Now you did it
I
back in the
smoked,
day.
I smoked so hard that at one point I was fucking, Jesus Christ. I want to say I
At
was
least.
probably 16.
Oh, when you were young when you did it. I was about 21, 22 when I did it. When I first started doing it. It was an evil drug, man. Wicked drug,
How,
man.
Let me ask you, how did you find crack? Like, did crack find you, or did you find crack?
Well, I was a big snorter, and back in the day when it was called freebase, before they took away, you had the regular glass bowls with the screens, and you cooked it up the powder
I
yourself,
know.
and you made freebase, and you made it in a test tube or cooked it in a coffee
Yeah,
pot. Take a
the
whole ounce,
real stuff.
the real stuff, the purity of it, and crack just came in because um, the dealers on the street decided, well, we could take this and make cookies, and it was mostly like 50% baking soda, and they made these round cookies. They cooked it in the oven, cookies after they prepare it, and they actually poured it like dough, and they made these cookies, and they cut 20 pieces out that were and that's how crack came into it, and that's really when it happened when they took away the ability to do it freebase style, and they went to the antennas. Do you ever break a car antenna off of somebody's car and put some charbroil in it, 2 o'clock in
Of
the morning?
course, of course, I have.
I broke a glass stem once, and I went down the street and I fucking start ripping out fucking people's fucking antennas, and I had 5 of them, and I kept getting the wrong end. And the next day you hear people motherfucking all the antennas I broke on the block. But yeah, you get
Oh shit!
fucked up, man.
I found crack. I loaned a guy. There was a gang member What's the Blue Gang? Is that the Crips or the
Disciples?
Bloods?
Disciples?
Yes,
Crip would be
the
Crips, I think.
Gangster Disciples.
Yeah, Gangster
He
Disciples are
was a
blue.
gangster disciple from Gary, Indiana, I think.
All right, that'd be Gangster Disciples, yeah.
And his name was Buddha.
Buddha. What a fucking name, Buddha.
We used to drink at this place called the Blues Saloon.
Okay.
And we were fucking 15, 16-year-old kids, and they'd let us in there to play pool, but we would drink.
Okay.
And it's in Frogtown, St. Paul. It's a
All right.
neighborhood in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay. Is that near the Twin Cities, correct?
Called Frogtown. Yeah, the Twin Cities.
Right, right.
And I fucking loaned this guy $20, right? Like 2 weeks later, he comes back. And I'm like, yo, you got that $20 you owe me? And he's like, no, but I got this.
They
And he
turned
had
it
a fucking big white rock.
on. He hooked you.
He fucking hooked me,
He
bro.
hooked you, bro. He planned that whole shit.
He fucking hooked me. There was one time, this is a true story too. I think it was like, had to be like $1,000 at the time
You can smoke crack.
on crack.
Yeah. Easy to go through 1,000 if you got one or two people in 24 hours. Because
Oh, forget it.
the high lasted 2-3 minutes, and it was the worst of dope when the crack got worse on the street. One thing about crack versus other drugs, you will spend every dollar. You will not go to sleep to every motherfucking dollars out of your wallet and your pockets. Then you go to bed when you're Jones and you can't get no more. That's a fact.
It's so true.
So that's a fact. Biggest chasing drug there is. Worst drug in the world. I wish I could take them years back and never touch it, man. But yeah,
dude. If I had the money that I spent on fucking crack cocaine, I'd be a millionaire.
Exactly. I feel the same way. If I had 25% of what I spent back in those days, I'd be a millionaire. It's you live and you learn, brother. That's what we're about. That's what made us people like us, man. We got.
How did you find crack though? Like, what happened? Like that? Like, what was the impetus? Like, mine was a loan to a guy.
Like I said, I was freebasing already, and then then all of a sudden, you start owing the bigger dealers, and now you're trying to pay them, so they're cutting you off. So now you're back. Now you go to the street corners with the gangbangers, and you learn about crack, and you start buying crack around. The first time I bought a crack, I went to this corner at Rockwell and Potomac in Chicago, and it was a gang spot, and I parked my car in the corner, got out, and these motherfuckers were working with the 14th District Narcotics Unit. I guess they had got busted earlier in the day, but the cops said, you give us up some of your customers and we'll let you guys operate. This is a very big common in Chicago. The police will bust the Latin Kings with drugs, they don't turn it, some of it goes into the police station, but the other half goes to the other side of town and sell to and the guns would go, that's what they did. And they would sell half the shit. And that's how they were crooks on the street, the police. But I bought 3 dime bags of crack. I came down the stairs and I got tackled by 10 cops. And I put the shit in my mouth and they're punching me in the mouth. And I got arrested. But the next day with the bond hearing, it was thrown out of court. It got thrown out of court because somehow the 3 rocks got misplaced in evidence. And they wanted more time. And the lawyer I had said, no, that's not our fault. And he got the judge to throw the case. Now I had to pay him $1,000, but I went to jail for 8 hours and didn't get no charges. I mean, I was charged, but it was thrown out the next morning. I got lucky. But that's just corruption in Chicago. We got the right lawyer at the right time with the right judge, and it was all politics then. And I talked to a lot of cops there. They didn't care about if they convicted. They just they had to make so many arrests to make detectives, so many arrests to get.
Yeah. It's all about numbers.
It's all about numbers. All about numbers. So they, and if you were cool with them, they're like, maybe this stuff might make it to the evidence thing, maybe this could get lost on the way. You seem like a good guy, we got to make the arrest, but see what happens in the morning, So kind of shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So you always could trust to have corruption in Chicago with the police department and the judges. Guaranteed. A few dollars here and there, you're all right. You survive all that shit, man.
It
I used
was
to love
that
it there.
bad in Chicago?
Oh yeah, Chicago. It might be half the size of New York, but I could guarantee it's more ruthless. It's more cleaner than New York. I'll give you that. Give them that. Well, at least it was when I moved out of there when I was 35. I was in the year 2000. So I've been here 23 years of Florida, but
Okay.
the gangs are definitely way worse, and the killings there are way worse than New York. Way worse.
Oh, dude, the gang element leaked its way up to Minneapolis.
Of course.
Forget it. They all came from Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's pretty rough, man. It's very rough. Joey talks too much. Mr. Big Shot. How about this? There's the kid. Remember the kid that you were on with last night? The kid that you were on his show last night? Mr. Big Shot?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Hispanic guy.
Yeah, that's my boy there. That's his show you were on yesterday. He's giving me some shit in the chat room. Look at that, telling me Joey talks too much. We got Sato Me says, Mr. Joe, who's this beefcake me like? Or Sato Me likes you. Want to know who this beefcake is? Sato Me. She's talking about you. That's Cabbie, the great Crazy Cabbie he was a radio personnel and he was with Howard Stern days and he fought Stutter and John. He beat Stutter and John up in a boxing match. That's who he is, Sato Man. We got Jarrett. I'm gonna pronounce this right. Justin Pizzuzo, L.O. Jarrett, Mr. Joe. We read that. Mason in Portland is a good friend of ours. Mason's a good dude. Love Mason. He's a team player. He gives us a lot of support. We got Fruckin' Frank. Now Fruckin' Frank runs the Discord. He's a great dude. We got HT Tumor, Mixed Stream. We got quite a few people here. We got 45 showing. So what do you want to get into here, brother? Your desire, man. This is our pilot episode. I know we got a lot of you've been doing this a lot longer than me overall the years that you put in the radio.
The funny thing is I honestly don't know what the fuck to talk about because I think that my girl told me best that I can't blow my load.
Right. Well, you can. You just can't. There's just certain rules we can't. Listen. It goes like this. You got to say pedo if you're going to use that for anything related to that. You can't use really the N word because that'll really get you bounced. You can't use the R word because it's just not accepted no more. But you could go retard. You could do that, and you could use it like that. But there's a lot of ways around it. I mean, you could swear, you could use your motherfucker, and you could, the later it is, the better. They say the first half an hour is when you got to really just, and we're already past that. But then you can start getting a little bit more, and it's nighttime, it's kind of late. But we're going to go over to Rumble at in 30 minutes. So everybody, Joey.C 4254 is how you'll find us on Rumble. Joey.C 4254, and we're going to go over to Rumble, and we're going to see what kind of love you guys are going to show us for Cabbie and myself. We're going to give you. We're going to put together some shows here, man, and we're going to entertain you. And Cabbie's going to, he's going to take a little time. He's getting new to this. This is, plus he's been chilling.
Yeah, because I think we should talk about politics and.
Okay. Do you know much about politics? I don't. I know they're all crooked motherfuckers. I don't trust them.
I actually know less about politics today than I did yesterday.
Right.
Because I think my politics are all fucked up.
Now, who's your favorite president of all time?
Oh, Jesus. I think you got to go with Reagan.
Yeah. No, Reagan was a good president, no doubt. I mean, he was the guy that tried to clean up the drugs, back in the 80s. But he's also the guy that they trained the contours and gave them guns and trained them in the United States. And that was back in the day when the guys with the planes were running all the cocaine from Colombia, Those are the good old days.
Yeah.
Barry, what was his name? Barry something, Barry Seals, and
hey, that's a good movie with Tom Cruise.
Great with Tom Cruise movie. He played a good Barry Seals. And he was one of the guys that flew in the plane. There were several guys out of Miami that did that. Big racket, man, back in the day. The guys that had the
The
planes were made
fucking cocaine cowboys, man.
cocaine cowboy. But what about that slut bitch? Fucking the godmother of fucking cocaine. That bitch killed over 500 fucking people in her life.
Oh, that bitch in Miami?
Yeah, she was ruthless. She killed 3 of her fucking husbands for cheating on her. She
God,
gunned them
what was her
motherfuckers down at the Columbia Airport for kidnapping her son. Took her son and lied.
hitman, I
Reevy
forget.
from Chicago. Reevy was his name. He's
Yes,
still in prison.
that fucking guy was more ruthless than Sammy the Bull.
Reevy. Now they fucked Reevy. The federal government made a deal with him, and he actually didn't. He was the one that had the sex scandal over the phone with the FBI secretary, and it came out, and they were
Really?
supposed to. Yeah, he bobbled the whole case against the godmother, and she got deported home. He had his first love was her. He protected her but he's from Chicago, from my neighborhood, Reevy. That's where he's originally from, and he was
That guy was fucking brutal, dude. He was
yes.
when you say hitman, he was a fucking hitman.
He did whatever he was ordered to do. He did. He was a cleanup man, but he was
He was
also
he was a wet worker all the way, man.
all the
He
way, all the way.
fucking
Yeah,
he took care of business.
exactly. He's still in prison. The federal government fucked him. They lied to him. He's been trying to get out. His lawyers been trying to get him out for like the last 8-9 years. He was supposed to be released because of certain things that he did, and they lied. They lied straight up, lied to him, and he can't get out, man. He's in a federal prison. I think he might
No
be in
shit. I didn't know he was from Chicago.
originally from Chicago. Reevy was his name. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he
Yeah.
was a Cuban.
No, he was. He might have been Cuban. He might have been. He might have been Cuban. He was definitely. I mean, he could have been Colombian too, because that's where I think she only hired Colombian people. Pretty sure that if you worked under her, you had to be Colombian. He had some guy to have Colombian blood in him some point. But yeah, he was definitely had a place in Chicago where he hailed his hat. 'Cause
Well,
a lot of the drugs.
I'm sure he's got a lot of blood in him right now. He's in prison, for God's
Well,
sake.
he's an old man now, isn't he? Well, she got gunned down. You know, she got gunned down in Medellin by her own method of way she invented the motorcycle hit. That was her that invented that. You know, the motorcycles drive-bys. They gunned her down with the same way that what she invented, the way to kill somebody on a hit.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she was gunned down. She was like an old lady, man. And I don't know if you ever saw the cocaine godmother story with the cocaine cowboys. They show her. She was ruthless, man. She started dating that one guy, and then he fucked her over and was cheating on her. And she fucking told him, "You know who you're fucking with?" And she sent her youngest son. She named her youngest son Michael Corleone over after Michael Corleone from The Godfather. That was his middle Michael. That was his name, Michael Corleone. Whatever her last, I forgot her last name. Griselda Blanca. Yeah, Michael
Yeah,
Corleone Blanca. That was her name, Griselda
Griselda.
Blanca. Griselda that got killed 500 people, man.
Yeah,
500 people. Ruthless
she was
lady.
fucking brutal, dude.
She didn't care. You know what her famous thing was? Well, let's remember the scene in The Godfather when they didn't let nobody live. Like when Italy they wanted to kill because they said if you grew up to be men, they come back and so she killed kids, everything. She didn't give a shit. She did not give a shit, man. Ruthlessly. You think she went to hell? You think she's getting it? You think she's getting pineapple stuff up her ass? I heard that Hitler's down in hell getting pineapple shoved up his ass every day. You know, I don't
You
know.
know, I I don't know that Hitler's in hell.
You don't think Hitler's in hell?
No, I think that there's a special place
Yeah,
for people that are that evil.
really. Beyond
Yeah,
hell? Beyond hell. Maybe there's a place. I don't know. I don't know.
like think of a guy like Heinrich Himmler, dude.
Yeah, yeah. What about the Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy or what is the other guy that was a serial
I
killer?
watched an amazing documentary on John Wayne Gacy the other day.
Clown. He was the
Uh,
clown,
that
man.
that fucking guy was just.
Sick, sick,
That's
sick.
another Chicago boy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. His house was on, I believe, Summerdale Avenue. I believe on the 8300 block of Summerdale in Chicago. After they busted his house and finally got him, where they knew he murdered, and they dug up all the bodies. They found 32 bodies underneath his house in the crawl spaces. He used to pour lime. The smell was so bad, his neighbors complained. They tore that house down. It stayed a parking lot for years. Now I don't know if someone bought it and built a house there. Can you imagine building a house on that fucking thing? That's a fucking got to be haunted. There got to be a lot of problems. I never went back to see the history after they rebuilt and if they had any problems. Maybe you don't fucking do that. Build another house on top after you find all those dead bodies. I couldn't do it. That's putting you through hell there, man. That would be haunting you up and everything.
Didn't they also tear down Dahmer's building?
I think so. I think he was in a shit neighborhood. Anyhow, they were revamping that whole area. But Dahmer was a different type of, huh?
I probably, seriously, not that I met Jeffrey Dahmer,
right?
But I hitchhiked once out of Wisconsin.
Really? You said say that again. You said you were in Wisconsin because Wisconsin was like the state before Minnesota. So you weren't far from the Twin Cities from Wisconsin. He was like the Milwaukee area, I believe, wasn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. I hitchhiked one time out of Wisconsin. I was hanging out with some friends, and they got drunk and they left me there.
Really? Well, that was back when the drinking age was 18. Remember when Wisconsin was 18 until a bunch of kids got killed?
Still is.
No, it's 21. They changed it because too many kids were from Illinois were going to Wisconsin to drink their 18, coming back and getting killed.
Well, that's what we used to do from Minnesota because it was like a 20-minute drive.
Correct. It was 90 minutes to Chicago downtown to Milwaukee, 27th Avenue in Milwaukee, where all the bars were, and it was 18 to drink age when I was growing up. So that's the place you went. Too many kids were getting killed, so they changed the law to 21. I don't think there's any place at 18 anymore in the United States. Maybe I could be wrong.
Hey, I'm not going anywhere, but I'm going to set the phone down so I can drink some wine, okay?
All right, brother, we're here. So everybody, what's going on? We're going to go over to Rumble in about 20 minutes. I hear that this guy...
He's with baloney.
I hear we're being sniped by that guy. God bless him. Snipe away, buddy. I hope you're enjoying, our content, because you can't create your own. We know that much. We know you're a douche fucking drunk truck driver. And, go fuck yourself, okay? And make sure when you do a show tomorrow, you get my name right this time. And this time, tell the truth. Baloney, okay? That guy, he is fucking... What a guy that's so fake. He can't even create his own content. He's got to snipe people and fucking steal their content. That's a pussy move.
Let me ask
which we know he is. Yeah.
What do you call it? Sniping?
Well, yeah, this guy Baloney who's sniping us, and then he makes a show. He'll make a show. Another guy that's done a show, and it's all our people's material, and he snipes you, and he's just he's not making his own content. He's just stealing material, So and then tells fabrications about you, But it's all right, He's just a drunk old dude that drives a truck that ain't worth shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good,
What kind of truck do you think he drives?
I don't know. I think he's an 18-wheeler guy. I don't know what kind of truck. I think he's a local guy. I don't think he goes out of the state. I'm not even sure where he lives. I think he lives in Pennsylvania somewhere. I think
I always wanted to be a truck driver. I actually that was one of the other jobs I wanted to do when I got out of the military. Is I wanted to be a truck driver, and I almost went and worked for was it fucking JB Hunt? Is that the big trucking company?
JB Cunt, yeah. JB Cunt, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody goes there. It's one of the places that hire you out of school. JB Cunt. Yeah.
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 I almost went there and became a truck driver.
Really?
And think of how different my life would have been had I done that.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's good. I mean, they make a great living. If you put your time on the road and just stay out on the road and make your money and do it for 10, 12, 15 years and just live in a truck with no bills and just stay out on the road and pack all that money away, you're going to be pretty wealthy because you could make a good living, very good living with that, So, yeah, definitely, most definitely. So, yeah, I mean, I got all the respect for truck drivers. I do. Without truck drivers, this country don't move. It shuts down. If every truck
drivers, dude, I think truck drivers.
I got a lot of respect.
I got mad respect. It's like the fucking guys who work on the railroad,
yeah,
or the guys who work in the the oil fields.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen those fucking jobs?
those guys work their ass off, man. The oil riggers and the
Oh my
iron workers.
God. The fucking oil riggers. I watched this video the other day of these fucking guys on an oil rig, and they were swinging those chains,
Right,
and all that metal was clanking, and I was like, how the fuck do you do that
right.
and stay sane?
Yeah, you're right. I agree. That's a tough job, especially the ones that stay out on the rigs out on the ocean. You know,
Oh
that's
my God. Listen, you let your listeners know
evening,
they
Chris.
should look up fucking oil rig guys.
Yeah,
Those guys, the fucking job they do,
yeah,
it's
tough job.
oh my God, it's so dangerous too. I mean,
They make
it's
big money, don't they? Though that mean they make big money, like massive money, don't they?
I
How much?
think they do. I really think I think they make out. I think they
Yeah,
do.
yeah. That's a my hat goes off to anybody that's like the iron workers, the bricklayers, the people that build things, the people that build, at the turn of the century, 19th century or 20th century, when all the immigrants came over, the Italians, the Irish, the Jewish, they all worked as some masonry, cement guys. They built
The
all the
fucking
buildings.
industrial revolution.
That's right. Did you know? Did Do you know my son, little C? Huh? My little C son. See, he's a boxer. See,
He's cute.
you like him? Yeah, he's. I adopted him. He was made from Patrick Melton's sperm, and he abandoned him. He threw him in the garbage, and I found him and I brought him home with me. You know what I'm saying? So he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's cute.
Yeah, I like him. I like him. Let's see what we got here. Let's read some of these chats, buddy. What do you got here? We got the Kahuna, the big Kahuna. Hey Ross, where in Minnesota you from? I'm in Carver County. You know what he's talking about?
I do know Carver County actually. I grew up in Ramsey County, so I grew up in the Twin Cities, St. Paul, Minneapolis, and I think Carver County's north of.
North of there.
Yeah, I think it's north.
Were you a Twins
Minnesota's
fan?
a beautiful state. Have you ever been?
I've been through there. I've been through there. I never really stopped there, but I drove through there on my travel adventures of going down to uh, South Dakota. Um, but never spent the
What were
night
you
there.
doing in South Dakota, Meth?
Yeah, yeah. I was by making a big drug buy. I was making. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You were smoking some ice.
Yeah. I tell you what. The craziest thing when I did when I was all cracked out and I got this fucking. I was with my buddy and I said, "We're going to O'Hare Airport right now. We're getting on a plane and flying to Las Vegas." We had a pocket full of money, no tickets. We go to the counter and they wanted to fucking like $1,000 or $1,500 a ticket because we were
Right.
coming right. And I'm like, "What the fuck? Are you crazy?" They said, "Well, you could go make a reservations and leave in a couple of days." I'm like, "I want to leave now." I was drunk, fucked up, like, and my buddy, "Let's get the fuck out of here." I was making a scene at the airport. I was fucking up for days, and I never made it though. But I wanted to. I was trying to go. He said, "It'll take all our fucking money if we go just on the tickets. We'll get there. We have no money. What are we gonna do there?" You know?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I fucking did some crazy shit, man.
What kind of job did you have?
I started out as a very young age because I lived right by near Wrigley Field, and I was like I said, I was very young and didn't have a dad, so I was getting in trouble on the streets and always in trouble in school, and I landed a bat boy job with the Major League Bat Boy at the Wrigley Field with the visiting clubhouse, and I did that till I graduated high school, and then I had a
Wait,
kid
so you worked your way up from a bat boy to what?
well, I left the big leagues and quit my job for a couple years because I had to go work full time, couple jobs because I had a child
Okay.
at 17. But then I missed baseball, so when I tried to get back into the big league club, it was no way. I gave up my position, so I wound up working in the minor leagues. I started with the Phillies in Clearwater at the minor league complex with Paul Barrett. He took me under his wing, and then from there I went to the Rangers, and I went full time with the Rangers, and then I was after my third year with the Rangers, a condo contract. I had a falling out with the baseball operations guy, and he fired me. Well, he told me, he goes, "I'm not renewing your contract, so you don't have to come to instructional league in September after the season." So my contract was up November 1st. So then I went and worked for the Padres in AA Mobile. I got a phone call from my old boss with the Rangers, said he was with the Padres, and he wanted me to go check out the shithole in Mobile, Alabama. He goes, it's a really shithole. It used to be a cream of the crop fucking ballpark. He said, it's a our last year there, the clubhouse is a mess. Can you go look at it and tell me what you can do with it? So I get out there, and he goes, I call him when I get there, and he goes, well, what do you think? I go, how about a gallon of gas in a match starting there? That's how fucking brutal this goes. I go, no way. He goes, you're there. I need you there. I said, no fucking, you're not torturing me like this. I said, Grady, I want. He says, you got to do it. Please. It's my last year there. Make it home as homely as you can for the players. And we had the worst part, we had the worst fucking team in the league that year. So now you're losing all these games in a shit clubhouse. You're just nasty as fucking hell. You got rats running around the fucking clubhouse. It was that much of a shithole. It was ready to be condemned.
Serious?
Yeah, it was. A couple years later, they closed the ballpark. Now there's no more team there. But it was a shithole, man. And the guy didn't want to do no upgrades. The city didn't want to do upgrades, so that's why the Padres went and found another place to go. So I went there, and then 07, I stayed in Florida, went to Lakeland with the Tigers, and then 07,
We had a minor league team in Staten Island.
Yeah, the Staten Island Yankees. Is that still them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're part of the Yankees. That's low A ball, I believe, or rookie ball. Yeah. So I did that. I ran the locker rooms. I took care of the players. I took over all the grunt work. I did everything from A to Z, whatever the players need. Make sure they got uniforms, make sure their bats are ordered, make sure the balls are ordered, make sure all the field stuff is out for batting practice, make sure the clubhouse is clean, make sure the uniforms are clean, make sure they got food, make sure they got drink, everything. You just do everything. The higher the level, the better. But I mostly was AA and mostly AAA, and then worked major league spring trainings, which was fun. But I got sick really bad, and I just retired in 2015 with illness. And fortunately, I went to prison a year and a half ago, so I never tried it. Plus, the game changed, and I'm too old. I can't handle it. I couldn't do it no more like I did. You got to be multitask. Players, there's two things you can't say: can't and no. They don't understand those. You can never say that to a player. You got to get it done, whatever they want. And I mean, you did everything for them, even personal shit. Especially in the guys that had major league.
Can I ask you, what'd you go to prison for?
I made a false statement to a Fredo agent in my wife's case. I told him I obstructed justice, basically. But it was my charge on my paper. If you look it up in the federal docket and look my name up, and I was inmate 731. 73801.
You remember your inmate number? I can't remember mine.
I was 73812 or was it our 13? 73813-018, I think. Yeah, I gotta remember that. But that's I think it was. Hang on, let me look that up real quick. Federal inmate. I think I'll tell you in a minute here. Inmate search. If you look up into the federal database, federal inmate search, you got the BOP federal inmate by name. I can do it by name here. You go here and you go put my name, first name, Joe.
Oh, do mine.
All right, yeah, I'll do yours. Hang on, let me do yours. I'll do mine. I'll do yours. See what comes up here. I just put my name because I think my number is 73812, or I might have been 13. Yeah, I was 13. That's right. All right, here I am. I think it's coming to loading. It's taking a long time, but it's loading. I'm gonna do it by number 7. I'm gonna do my numbers faster. 7. Yeah, it's 73813-018 was my number. Let's see. Here.
Oh my God, that's so funny that you remember your number.
Yeah, it's 73. I was right. 73813-018, age 57. Release 6/23/22. This is me. I don't know if it'll show it. Bandwidth is not a problem. But let me see.
What prison did they send you to? Where?
I went to a federal camp. I went to a camp, Coleman Federal Camp.
Were you in Florida?
Yeah, I stayed in Florida. I was really close. I was 60 miles from Tampa. I mean, I had such short time that there was no sense of sending me out. They really didn't have to send me out. But let me see if this comes up. There I am. See? There I am. See? Right there. Joseph Samuel Cadano, register 73813-018.
Hang on. Let me hang on. I got to zoom in.
Yeah.
I'm zooming in.
That's my number.
No shit.
Yep. And I was
look me up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look you up now. Let me go back here and look you up. Hang on. Let me do you now. Let me see. BOPs. I'm gonna.
You gotta look up my old last name. No, I don't.
Hang on. Let me look at what your first name. What was it under?
Lee.
Give me the Lee. Okay.
Yeah. And then the
Last
last name is Morozak. MROSZAK.
Wait, MR. Say that again. MR.
Yep.
I spelled that spelled OS
MROSZAK.
DAK. Okay. Let me see what the MROSDK.
No, ZAK.
DAK, right?
Z with the zebra.
Oh, ZAK. So SZ as a zebra?
There you go.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so make sure I did this right. Okay, here you are. Lee Anthony.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, well, we found you. Let's see. See what you got. This is you right here, buddy. Lee Anthony.
Yeah.
There you go. That's you. Lee Anthony, 71424-05354, white male, released 7/27/2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm going to show you another one. This is really cool. Watch this shit. You can look up
Yeah.
anybody that's been federal inmate. This is the best part. I like this part. Watch this. Let's see if I can do this. So now we're going to go to, let's see, watch this. Are you there? Yeah, hang on.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, we'll go here and check out this one. All right, let's see. This is cool because you can find. There we go. How about this one, huh?
Fucking John
What does that
Gotti.
say? What does that say, buddy? You look up anybody that's ever been a federal inmate. John A. Gotti, 006327, released 12/1/2009. That's got to be his son, right? That's not because he was. Yeah, I think that's John Jr. Because the old man died. Yeah, he's 59. That's how old is. Yeah, he's 59. That's the son. See, that's funny because the father didn't come up. It's weird. It didn't even give me choices because he died in prison with cancer. So I don't know if they take them off the list if they die. If you became dead in prison, I think you they just put deceased. Yeah, that's weird. But you can find anybody that's been a federal inmate. How about the oldest federal inmate in history? He got out at 100 years old. That's Sonny Francisi. He went in with a 50-year sentence, walked out at 100 and died at 103. That's a fucking miracle, ain't it? What the hell's going on here? I can't close this up. Oh, shit.
Let me guess. He wasn't connected, was he?
Yeah, he was the underboss for the fucking Colombo family. Sonny Fran, one of the baddest motherfuckers on the street, they said. They said he was the real fucking deal, man. Let's see. How do I do this?
I used to work for some mob guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know any. To be honest with you, I don't.
When I was a teenager, a young teenager,
Mm-hmm. How old were you?
When I was a young teenager, I was probably 17, 18.
Okay.
I worked at a porn shop in St. Paul, and those guys were mobbed up. And you know what they were? They were fucking Syrians,
Really?
and they were mobbed up because the porn business. A lot of people don't realize this. The porn business is one of the main bases of the porn business is in Flint, Michigan, of all places.
Really? Well, Flint, Michigan was a known place for a lot of the money was counted. A lot of meetings were like it was kind of like Kansas City.
You know what? If you look up Flint, Michigan, the population there is very Arabic.
Yeah.
And the porn guys, they weren't Italians. They were all Muslims.
Really? I thought Robert D. Bernardo ran all the porn in New York. Robert D. Bernardo. He was the guy that ran he was the main guy. He ran all the porn. He was like the top dog.
Dude, I loved working I worked in a bookstore, right?
Yeah, adult bookstore? Did you jerk off?
Yeah. And we had peak booths, and then we had a full size movie theater.
Oh shit.
We used to run movies on the big screen in the old 35 millimeter.
Ah, 30. Yeah, the
They
old
used to
35.
change the fucking reels.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those places were big, man, in the 70s, man. Those were fucking the shit. The little people you put the quarter in or the tokens, and you fucking, you're just about getting ready to get somewhere, and then the fucking thing stops, and you're out of tokens, and you got to fucking, that was the gimmick. That's how they trapped you. That's how they fucking
Yes,
trapped everybody.
yes,
The
the peak
timing was
food.
impeccable. The fucking
Yeah,
bastard. But how about the guy that got to clean up after every night? The cleanup guy. That's go clean all the fucking shit all over the walls and all over the floors.
we had a guy named Al who did it.
Poor Al. He was getting all that. He was licking it up and everything, wasn't he?
Dude, he was one of the most foul individuals I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, well, of course you got to get a foul guy to do that kind of cleanup. Now, look, let me show you. You don't want a piece of history? You know a lot about porn, right? What was the most successful porn movie in history, money-wise?
Oh, that's a good question.
Was it one of John Holmes's movies, I would assume?
No, because you know
No?
what? John Holmes wasn't that big of a star. He
Okay,
was only big because he had a big penis.
right. But which one was the most grossing money out of all the? Because porn really didn't make big money each movie. It's just
I
overall how
gotta
many.
say Deep Throat.
Deep Throat, I would say. Well, anyhow, this is Sonny John Francese. He'd be 106 today. He got released in 2017. 6 years ago, he was 100 years old, correct?
Yeah.
17. He walked out of prison and died in 2020. Lived to 103. He told them he stood up in court 50 something years ago. And is anything you like to address the court? He said, yes, I would like to stand up, Your Honor, and address the court. He said, well, after this 50-year stretch, I'm sure it's going to say all you guys are going to be passed on and gone and, deceased. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to walk out of the prison 100 years old and wave at all you guys. And he did. What stamina that was to do that bit. And he was the guy that put up the money for the most biggest money porno in history. It was his money that they borrowed from him, and it was a success. This guy was like the most.
Was it Deep Throat?
I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a piece of history. That this guy was more ruthless than they said that any real mobster in New York. He was the guy. He was a true gangster, and he never ratted. That's why he did all that time. FBI would go see him every day, they said, and he would tell them, I ain't talking to you guys. He became the underboss of the Colombo family, and he was a feared man. Boy, I wish I would have got to know. I wish I would have got to pick his brain. That'd have been cool, you know. And his own son put him in prison. His son wore a wire. It was his driver. His own son turncoat on his ass. John, his boy John.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious because someone's a junkie, and it's a sad story, man. But yeah, but they're making a movie, I think, about finally making a movie about him. But yeah, that's how you find everybody, man. You just go to that little thing, and we found you tonight. We found me, and you learned your number again. We got Soviet Skunk. No dabble. No dabble. You are gay. Okay. Yes, I'm gay. I'm gay. Yes, I am. Thank you.
I'm
How
gay
gay am I?
too.
I'm gay. He's gay for Tom Cruise, and I'm gay for Elvis Presley. Okay. Hello. How are you? Nice to meet you.
I know, isn't it funny? We're both gay for men.
Yeah. All right. Listen, everybody. We're going to ask you, all of you, and we've done this a couple weeks ago, and everybody made it. Joey.C 4254 on Rumble. We're leaving YouTube in 3 minutes. So go over and get ready to get on Rumble in the chat room. Joey, it doesn't cost nobody nothing to make the change. It's Joey.C 4254.
Do I have to relog in?
No, you don't do anything. We stream right in here. We're already plugged in. So everybody go to Joey.C 4254. I'm waiting 5 minutes, and we're taking it off of YouTube because we can do more there. We could use better. We could use words that we can't use on YouTube. We could maybe tell some really sick stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or he said he might have some good stories about. I don't know. Did you say you know some? You know a few transsexuals? Can you tell me that?
Yeah, I knew. We call them transvestites.
Transvestites, yeah.
Yeah,
Did
but
you ever accidentally get
what
on a
is
date with one of them?
what does Stuttering John call him? His son
I don't know. I don't know.
or his daughter?
I'm not sure. I never really got into that part with him with the kids. I don't know. So I don't know. That I don't
How
know.
come?
Transgenders, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's transgender, the word. I don't know. That's what they use today, I think.
Nah,
Transgender.
you can't say that.
I don't know. I'm being honest. I'm not really don't know much about it. But did
No,
you
you
ever
really
act?
can't say you can't say transgender.
You can't?
No, you can't.
I thought that would be like the proper way to say it. Wow.
Probably is.
You mean? Oh, no, that's weird. We gotta discuss this over at Rumble. So everybody, go to Rumble, Joey.C 4254. You'll find the page. You'll see the live feed. We're leaving there in 2 minutes. We're gonna be kicking off. It just transfers right over. I'm gonna get Rumble up on here now, and we're gonna go over there, and we're gonna try Rumble. And you guys could send some rants over there if you got some love for us, for me and Cabbie. And we're trying to do a thing for you guys, and we're enjoying this. And I think we got great chemistry. We both are whacked out in the head from some of our drug days, and we got a lot of stories and a lot of cab driver stories. We got taxi cab confessions, and I'm sure Cabbie's got some real good stories, and I know I do.
Oh my
So,
God, dude, the stories I could tell you from my cab,
exactly.
forget it. Yeah,
I agree.
it would probably offend my girlfriend.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm. I respect my wife so much, and then not that she and I would never, do anything without asking her permission, even though she wasn't with me, in the early years. But I just respect her too much. I don't want to, because some of the stuff it's all stupid stuff, like stuff that would maybe get her upset. So, but there's a lot of stuff I can tell. A lot of stuff how I took people back and forth for drugs. That was the best part at 3 o'clock in the morning. The stories they would come up with when you go and run them for drugs. I gotta go give my sister some diaper money. Oh, my sister's out of formula. Take me over there, Mr. Joe. Take me over there to the hood. I gotta go over to my sister's house and borrow $5. I'm hungry.
Wait. So you drove black people around?
Oh yeah. Well, of course I drove a lot. I drove a lot of hookers. I worked all the bad areas at night. I only worked at night. I know. I was one of few. Yeah, yeah. And another thing, I'm getting some disturbing news. People really think my wife was a hooker. I mean, that's disgusting. My wife she would never even do an orgy and I would never ask her, but my wife is definitely not a prostitute. That's just really sickening that people think that of my wife, and that's a sad thing. That's a loser.
Why do people think that?
Well, I don't know. I caught a little bit of Jake's stream the other day with this guy who's the number one troll. He thinks he's a Mister. How can I say it? He's Mister IT guy. He knows he can hack everybody. He's good. He's nothing but a drunk that works with fucking food. And I don't know why he don't just stream himself on his own platform. He always tries to go on everybody else. But he's Patrick Melton's dick sucker. He sucks on Patrick. He swings on Patrick a lot. And he's got a lot of shit to say about my wife. And the bottom line is, he could talk all he wants. He's just a pussy. He's a pussy, and he's just jealous. And it just makes me sick. But my wife, it just cracks me up, man. Because if she was a whore, we wouldn't be living in this apartment. I'd be living in a fucking mansion.
She said last night she wouldn't do a gangbang, for God's sake.
That's right. My wife is very, very. She don't talk about her. To the private. She's very private, and she's just not into none of that stuff. She's not anything that you would actually in a common whore that would do. My wife would never do. So my wife is a very good woman who had some criminal problems because of drug habits, but she she didn't have to hook for her drugs. She was the drug. She was the plug. You understand? Back in the day, so she made money. She ran the streets in her area. So all right. So let me see. I'm trying to go here to the live stream. All right. So we're gonna kick it. Let me see. Where's my live stream? Here we are. All right. So now I'm on Rumble. All right, so we're going to do this, Cabbie. Everybody, Joey.C 4254, we're saying goodnight to YouTube, so make the switch. We need you guys over there. So we're removing the stream from YouTube. Everybody, it's over on YouTube. Delete on YouTube. Here we go. All right. Now we switch over. All right. You there, Cabbie? We are now officially on Rumble. So let's go to Rumble and see what's happening. There we are. And we got a few people in the chat. What's happening, people? We got Johnny Blaze 77. Dabblestorian is a fag. He's saying this guy, the guy that was on with us yesterday, I wouldn't show him. They just confirmed he's a fag. Now we could use these words over here at Rumble. We're not on YouTube. Taste of Ashes. Hello, Mr. Joe. Hello. Hello. Cabbie and I say hello. Welcome. We got 19 people already came over out of the almost 50 that were, so they're coming over. Here they could send us rants. So if they want to show us some love, me and you could maybe make a little coin night and we could split this shit and make some money, and maybe I can get some nice pearly teeth. But
You
I
know
wanted to
what?
talk about.
I don't need any money.
No, but you're no. We're partners here, buddy. This is a partnership. Okay, so I don't need money either. I don't care about it, but we're partners, buddy. I don't play that. It's like if you stuck your finger in your ass, I'd stick my finger in my ass. You understand? You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? That's what
I gotta say this. I was on Shuli's show, right?
yeah, the BS show, I believe you're on.
Yeah, the BS show,
Yeah,
and they kept offering me money, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't fucking need your money. Like, I don't want, like, I'm not a beggar, so I
yeah.
don't
Me,
beg
I
for
never asked
money.
for money either. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't either. I
and
don't.
can I just tell you, fucking, um, the people who listen to Shuli's show donated to my PayPal like
Nice.
$500 fucking.
You see how they are? They're wonderful people. See how nice that was?
Yeah,
That's awesome,
I
dude.
was fucking shocked.
That's nice of them. He's got great fans. He's got 1,000, 1,200 people watching him every morning. They got over 3,000 YouTube memberships. At Are you there? I lost you.
I'm here.
Yeah. He's making so much. We got a couple people say hello to Fearless 31. Hello, everyone, and happy Veterans Day. She's saying happy Veterans Day to you because she knows you're a vet. Thank you very much. She's thanking everybody for their service. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
We got the 32 people that came over so far, and this is I want to start using Rumble a couple of times a week. I pay for it, and I might as well platform it over here. And YouTube is just too picky for a guy like me who's controversial and has threatened so many people. And I use so many words like the R word and the gay word and words like that. And I did a lot of threatening, fighting with people. That YouTube just said, "Nah, we can't sell your mark. We can't market you, dude. You're like a fucking psycho." So they
What's
denied
the
me.
R word?
Well, our word being like retard, that word, yeah, that's the R word, the R word. But
The
yeah,
fucking
YouTube.
R word.
If you were a monetized channel on YouTube, and what we did yesterday, last night, and I think there was 11 N words dropped between you and what's his name, we would immediately been struck, and that would have been taking us down for I don't know how many weeks. Immediately, if it would have been our third strike, it would have been bye channel. And I don't care because I like people to be the way they want to be. I don't have to necessarily like certain words, but I'm not going to stop my guest if they're telling a story and that's how they are. See, I believe in realness, and sometimes
Right.
people use those words and they don't really mean that. That's just the way they talk. You know what I'm saying? But some people mean it, like Anthony Cumio. He uses that word quite a bit. I hear, and I never met the guy. I don't know nothing about him, but I know he just got a triple bypass. And I hope he's healing well. I wish I could have met him, but I got my own thing, man. I got my own thing. I got my own problems, man. I walk out my fucking door, man, and I'm in McDonald's parking lot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to worry about 24/7. I got McDonald's right at my doorstep. You know what I'm saying? So I got it made here. I live in a shit neighborhood, but who gives a fuck? Like, if it's my turn to die, it's my turn to die. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm
Nice look.
saying? Yeah, it's a decent little. We got a nice little place. It's a cozy little place. My wife keeps it nice, and she likes to do all kind of things. My wife, she likes to wallpaper. She likes to she likes rugs. Rugs is her thing. She likes to buy beautiful rugs and nice. She can make a room look really tough. She's very good at
How
that
many
stuff.
rugs can you have though?
Well, if it was up to her, he just asked the question: how many rugs can you have? Yeah, I mean that's his question. Yeah, at our old house, at our house that was big, our big home. Yeah, yeah, 4 in the kitchen, runner in the hallway, a very rugged living room, bathroom. She had all different, all kinds of stuff, different color stuff. But she had some decked up. Oh, look at this! We just got a $10 from Mason in Portland. Thank you, great show so far, boys. Mason in Portland just gave us $10. Thank you, Mason. Thank you
Thank
very
you, man.
much. Thank you, very nice of you, Mason. Mason, I don't know if you got a chance to. I don't know how long you've been coming on YouTube the last few months, but John did a really drunk stream a few months ago. I think it was about a month and a half ago. And I happened to be on there with DG, and he was very drunk, and he was kind of trying to like ball bust me a little bit. He was kind of being a smartass to me, and you know, he was just trying to chop me up a little bit. And he was doing stupid. You know what he asked me on air while he was drunk? This is what he did. Joey, you ever murder anybody? And then he left the fuck. He asked me if I murdered anybody. And then he's like, Mason in Portland. Yeah, Mason in Portland. He was so fucking inebriated, he couldn't even talk. Then he asked my wife some really rude questions, if she liked it in the ass and all that shit, you know? And my wife told him she handled his ass real good. And the next day he goes, I didn't say nothing to your wife. He don't remember shit, you know? Then he told me he's going to come to Tampa, beat my ass. He's going to fight me, and he wants me to meet him in the gym. So I told him, you know, just fly me to California. I'll come fight your fucking ass. Are you there? We frozen. I think we froze up. Hello.
No,
We're frozen.
I'm
Are we
listening.
frozen? I think I froze up though. Let me
Can you
see
hear
what
me?
the hell's going on here. Hello. Yeah, I can hear you. It's like on Rumble. We froze up. But yeah, Mason, thank you, brother. That really meant a lot to us. So, what's I was going to ask you, Cabbie. So, you got out of prison. You've been out of prison for a long time. You did your time way back in the way. And that was for tax evasion, basically, wasn't it? For not paying taxes, or because you
Well, the crime in this country
yeah,
is not paying your taxes. The crime is in not filing the fucking tax returns, because there's no debtor's prison anymore.
right.
So they can't squeeze blood out of a rock. But if you don't file your tax returns, that's what they got me on.
Right. That's true. That's true. Right.
Failure to file
That's
my
what you're
taxes.
saying.
They wanted to give me 30 fucking years.
Of course, everything's 30 years with them. And any white collar, it's 30 years. That's the math. They always tell you, well, you're going to get 30. If you're taking a trial, you got a chance of getting that 30 years. Now, I could have got 5 years for making one false statement. And then they try to make my life a living hell anyhow with the fucking years of probation. I told them, are you fucking crazy? I told one false statement. They treated me like I was a mass murderer. Well, with the government, you know, that's a serious crime, lying to the government. Really? And you guys don't lie? That's what I stood up and go, you don't lie? It's okay for you guys to lie, but I can't. And they lie.
What was your false statement?
What was my false statement? They came knocking on the door on January 31st, 2020. And then the way they knock, you know, it's the police. My daughter goes, who's knocking like that? I go, that's the police. And they were looking for Christina Catalano. She don't live here no more. Really? That's not the information we got. Well, her mail comes here. I go, yeah, and? I go, what are you writing a book? And he goes, oh, you must be Joe. I heard a lot of, you're pretty smart-ass kind of guys. I guess so. What'd you hear about me? And he kept going on, and I go, like I said, she's not, can you tell us where she's at? And I go, I have no idea. But you're married to her. We're separated. You know, when she needs money, she'll call me. You know, oh, okay. He goes, well, I really need to talk to her. So I got a feeling you might be able to reach out to her and give her my card and have her call me. And I go, well, I don't know. I haven't heard from her in a couple of weeks. I don't know. And I basically said, I don't know where that bitch is at. But and I slammed the door in his face. So he knew I was lying, because they must have been staking out the house and seen her and me going in and out of the house. Because after we got indicted, we got the discovery, and there was 3 years of fucking discovery. This fucking thing. They were following us around for 3 fucking years, taking pictures everywhere we did, all the places we went to. So they knew that was a lie. You understand?
Are you serious?
Yeah, they go, well, here's just you and her yesterday in a photo. You know, we've been following you for 3 years is the minimum they take in any case. And I'm like, gee, you followed us around for a measly 17,000, and I wasn't even part of it. But what were you thinking she was going to do? I mean, I don't get this. Well, that's how we build our case.
17 grand
for 17. Even the judge goes, what are we here? We're here for 17 million. They go, no, so they indicted for 17. And the judge looked at me and her, and he goes, "No, like, you know, I'm sorry, I can't help that. I gotta go where it is." But it was like ridiculous. But they had a hard on for me, because after I fucking lied to him, he still wasn't gonna. But I got smart with him, and I wanted to fight him. And he tackled me to the ground. They tackled me down the hand, and I told him, take. And there were 2 fat fucking guys, and I said, take these fucking handcuffs off. My neighbors were all out there. I was fucking, you fucking fat greasy motherfucker. And she's like, shut up, don't talk, just please, honey, please. And I'm saying, don't you say another fucking word to these fucking yo-yos. And I go, take these cuffs off, you fat motherfucker. I go, you greasy motherfucker. I go, put that gun and badge down. I'll beat the fucking brain. And that's why when they went for the indictment, it got brought up in court. Well, Mr. Catalano's only here because he wants to beat up federal agents. We didn't really care about his little white lie, but he brought himself into this. So we're going to, and that idiot tried to get me by, he hated me. He says, and the judge kind of liked me. He says, you are either the world's greatest actor or the most humblest, truthful man I could ever see. And I said, well, I'll go with the second one because that's what I am. He goes, there's no lying in you. I could see it. And I was pretty cool with him. And the judge was cool with me. And I read a nice statement. And I came clean. I said, listen, I'm responsible for my action. I should have lied to the government. I'm sorry. As far as what my wife did, I understand what was presented and all that crazy stuff, And then he sentenced me to the probation. And I said, I can't do this probation. So I violated and got 270 days in prison. And I got off with no probation. I was done. I wasn't going to do 5 years of paper. I would have never made it. I would have caught another charge. I hated him. I was an error. I don't like law enforcement. I like being told what to do. I'm a very free spirit guy. When they pull me over,
I feel the same way.
When they pull me over, I roll the window down this much. I lock the doors. Could you shut the car off for what? What am I? You pulling me over for a traffic stop? Here's my license. Here's my insurance. Here's my fucking. Write me the ticket. Step out of the car for what? What am I stepping in the car for? I mean, sir, we're giving you an order. What order?
Did you claim sovereign citizenship?
I've done well, not as much sovereign. I would like to claim legitimately to be a sovereign citizen because I think the police suck. I think they're terrible. I think they're a bunch of pussies that are getting owned all over the world. People are videotaping them, how they beat up people, how they're crooked as hell. There's no honest cops anymore in this world. Never was really, And I believe that this country is going to be coming to where it's going to be all military on the streets. That's where we're coming to. I don't know if I'll be alive for it, but yeah, I don't like cops because they're dishonest. They're corrupt, and they lie, and they get away with lying, just like the federal prosecutors got immunity from a federal judge to lie in any case they want, and nothing can happen to them. That's bullshit, and that's written. That's law. That's the way it is for them. I don't believe in that.
If you fight the feds, you know the deal. You can't win. No, you can't win. They got a 90, like it's like a 95% conviction rate.
96.4% conviction rate. He told me only 4% walk out of here with straight probation or beat this case. He said, "You're one lucky man. Merry Christmas." And I said, "Judge, I don't really want probation. I rather just took the time. I could have got at that point 60 days in prison because I scored 0 to 6 months, and I would have probably at that point because I didn't really piss a lot of people up at the one fucking problem. The judge probably gave me 60 to 90 days." And I already had 45 days in, so if he gave me 90, I only got to do another 25 when I'm home. I would have done a month and I'd have been done. But they put me through this probation, which I fucking, oh my God, what a fucking show. Probation is failure to set you up. Drug court is failure to set you up. They don't want you to succeed. They want you to get you in the system, and they hope you violate. That's what they do. That's how the system is. It's a revolving door, and you don't have to be a criminal. You don't have to be a felon. If you know how cops are in your neighborhood and how the system works, all this. It doesn't matter, it's just true. They're corrupt as they'll set you up. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They'll plant a gun on you if they accidentally shoot you. They'll put a gun on you and say you shot first. That's how they do in Chicago. All Chicago cops carried a 25 in their boot. And if they shot the wrong guy down, they would put that gun in that fucking person's hand and they would say he fired first. And they would always, no Chicago cop was ever put in prison until just a couple years ago. First cop ever was a couple years ago. The guy that shot that black girl.
It's very tough to convict a cop of a crime.
You never heard of in Chicago. You never even got a cop. Never heard of in Chicago. They're most corrupt. That blue line in Chicago, very powerful. You did not even go out of line to accuse a cop. They were protected by the mayor, by the government. The mayor ran the state. The government didn't. The mayor of Chicago is more powerful than the governor. 6 out of 8 governors in Illinois went to prison. You know that, right?
Yeah.
That's how corrupt that fucking state is. Fact. So I know a lot about corruption. I grew up in Cook County. It's one of the most corrupt fucking counties in the whole United States. Cook County, they call it.
One of my psychologists that I've had in the past worked in the Cook County system.
Yeah.
And she used to tell me stories.
Oh, yeah.
That I was like, are you fucking serious?
Oh, yeah. Brutal.
She was like, "It's so bad."
Yeah. It's the worst county jail. I mean, it's just brutal, man. They don't play there, and the guards there, sheriffs there, they'll kill you right in there. They don't, because there's a lot of prisoners that get killed in prison. You don't hear about all the killings every day. It never hits newspapers or news. Very rarely. That's all brushed under the table. But there's a lot of killings in prisons and a lot in county jails and a lot of corrupt guards that have a lot of power. They back in the day with Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover with the disciples, and Jeff Ford was the El Rucan leader, which was the old Black Panthers. And
Right.
when they finally busted the El Rucan, which was a militant church group, they were a church. They had a front of a 501c. They had a church. They were like these tried to be these peers of the community where they helped everybody, but they were really the Black Panthers.
Charity.
Yeah,
They faked the charity.
correct. And they were just the biggest drug dealers in the whole city. And when they finally busted, he went to the Division I of Cook County, which is the original jail where Al Capone sat, where a lot of guys from the old day. And it was the only. Now they have the divisions are cubicles now that they don't have bars. It's just cells with doors. That's with glass doors. But Division I was the old, and down in the basement was ABO, and that was the worst of the worst that went down there. And I remember when Jeff Ford he had so much money he was going to have a helicopter, and he was trying to climb to the vent. He dug himself to the vent and had made it to the top of the roof, and they got him there. He was having a helicopter bust him out of the county jail. He got light. I think he's an ADX if he's still alive. Rico Crenshaw was one of his lieutenants. Those guys were all top dogs in Chicago, man. But that's just
It's fucking the ADX prisons are no joke.
yeah. Well, remember when they first built Alcatraz? They said it was escape proof. Nobody could escape Alcatraz because you'd never survive because the water is like a half a mile to shore, and it's the most coldest part of the San Francisco Bay, and the current would rip you apart. But then when those guys that finally escaped after all them years, they shut down. It's a tourist attraction. Now you go out there and it's all falling apart, and people take a tour out there. But that was supposed to be the baddest fucking prison, just like the Titanic. That was never supposed to go. It was supposed to be the best built ship. But what happened? Bunch of morons fell asleep and fucking missed the fucking coordination, and the guys fucking see the iceberg. And it was too late. They were off course. So that was human error. That fucking thing went down because of human error. Not because of that boat was fucking not safe. Human error. That's still the mystery of the world. The Titanic, man.
It was the biggest ship ever built at the point.
Ever built. But I don't like water. My wife don't like water. And I'm like, I want to always go on ship. I ain't going on no damn cruise. I ain't going out on the water. But I'm like, their ships I ain't going to be falling like the Titanic. I'm like, no, I don't think
Oh my God. Have you seen how fucking huge the cruise ships have gotten?
Yeah, they're 5, 6, 7 decks now. And it's all gambling and dance clubs and fucking they got nightclubs, every fucking thing, man. And you
5,
pay
6, 7, try 13 decks.
No shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. But can you get seasick on those? I don't know. I'm not a big water guy. I don't like.
You know what? I went on a cruise one time.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of the worst experiences I ever had because they trap you in there, and there's a casino.
Right. You could
go
broke the
free
first night.
liquor.
Oh yeah, they get you drunk, take your money. Yeah. But don't you pay like one certain big fee and you get all your meals? The only thing you got to pay is like your gambling, but your drinks are free. But if you want to gamble, that's extra. But everything else is included in the packet, right? The room, the board.
You know the funny thing is, they don't tell you.
What's that?
That the liquor is free, right?
Right.
But if you want a premium drink, you have to pay for the liquor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you wanted let's say you wanted like a Kettle One vodka martini, you gotta pay. You gotta pay the extra premium.
Wow, that's a ripoff. See, Vegas is the only place I think you could get free drink. All these little casinos in different states, I don't think they offer free drinks. Only Vegas still does it, where you gamblers get free. But like you go to the Hard Rock here in Tampa, you got to pay. Well, I guess you get Coke free and coffee free and water, but a drink you got to pay for, I believe. And that's not fucking fair. They should give it to you if you're gambling. They make so much fucking money. These Indian reservations. There, let me tell you something. The Indians had all the land, right? They had all the land hundreds of years ago, right? We stuck it up their ass, fucking made them hostage, took all their fucking land from them, and they scratched their head for hundreds of years and said, "Oh, we're gonna get the Americans really good one day." So they built fucking Indian reservations, and they took all our fucking people to get them in the casino, and now they're laughing at everybody. They're the richest fucking people in the world. They got us real good, you know.
One of my cab customers was he was a Native American fella,
Yeah,
and
it's a check.
he was part of the like the Mille Lacs Ojibwe tribe or whatever in
Right,
Minnesota.
right.
Guess how much he used to get a month?
Oh, probably big money if you're certain
He used to get 40 grand a month because
wow,
he was fucking full blood Indian.
really? Because I know it's different
40
levels.
grand, 40 fucking grand a month, dude. This guy
Wow,
lives like he used to rent me out. I used to because I worked, like you said, I worked the night shift. And
right.
I met him. I picked him up out of a casino in fucking south of the Twin Cities. And he fucking told me that they made fucking 40 grand a month. And I was like, what? And he's
Wow,
like, yeah. And then he showed me his house.
beautiful.
And dude, he had the biggest house, but he lived like a fucking piece of shit in the house.
Really,
Yeah,
really.
no. He lived like fucking white trash.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
fucking
I'm gonna.
A.
I'm gonna. That's fucking wild, man. But I heard that if you're Cherokee and full-blooded Cherokee and tribe, you get like big money, and then it depends on each percentage. And then your kids get all the college paid for. Anybody go to school, they pay for all that shit. I mean, they take care of their people, and they're protected. Regular cops can't go. Even FBI can't even go on the reservation and arrest anybody. You know that, right?
Yeah,
They're federally protected. Yeah,
yeah.
it's fucking great, man. I want to become an Indian. How do I
I
become
think
that?
you, I think you can be actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's.
Ask Elizabeth Warren.
Is it Elizabeth Warren? All right. So let me read some of these chats over Rumble. Taste of Ash. My dog wants to go with me everywhere. I take her when I can. Sometimes she shakes it as if she's scared. Yeah, but dogs they get scared for certain things. That's Mason from Port. I'm 30 and I still get ID'd everywhere. Well, that's a good thing, Mason. I used to get ID'd in my 40s. I don't get ID'd no more. But I used to resent it when I was like 47, 48. I'm like, I get ID. I'm like, are you kidding me? But then I said, the people said, no, enjoy it while you fucking can. Enjoy it while you can. That's what I was told. That's awesome. What else we got here? We got the good, the bad, the ugly. Joey, you were talking about the gangster disciples the other night. Yeah, my source says you had a beef with the El Rukins and Larry. El Rukins were on the west side. El Rukins were Jeff Fort, and Larry Hoover was the guy that changed. Larry Hoover was the guy that made it folks, where they divided it between folks and people. Some people were gangs were people and folks. Folks were to the right and people were to the left. Latin Kings were people. But now the Latin Kings in federal prison are together with the disciples. But outside of federal prison, they're fucking not. So I don't know, for some
Hey,
reason.
let me ask you this: when you were in
Yeah.
prison, right?
Uh-huh.
Did the Hispanics hang with the Hispanics and the
Yes.
blacks with the blacks?
Absolutely. It was very anywhere state, federal, it's very segregated.
Yeah,
And
no, because I was fucking all immediately. I was swept in
yeah,
to a white group, and I
right.
was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
Because I get along with everybody. I fucking
right.
hate people equally.
You can
So
associate with people, and you can hang out with people, different people in the yard. But when it came to
yeah,
eating,
and I would go try to talk to like Puerto Ricans and shit,
right,
and holy fuck, man.
they don't like. Some of them don't like Americans. They don't. Um, I was, they were still under pandemic rules in the camp, so we didn't get to go. My last 2 weeks to when they opened the mess hall again, where you actually went like 4 o'clock was dinner, and they went by dorms. They used to be just they call over the intercom, mess hall, and then they opened it up, but you couldn't eat in there. You just got your food, and it was all containers. You took it back to your inside to eat. But so we didn't get the privilege of actually being in there. But even when you got the food, I mean, the Puerto in where I was, all the Hispanics, they talked to each other. But when it came to Puerto Ricans, really only trusted Puerto Ricans. Cubans,
Yeah, the is it the Dominicans they hate or the Mexicans?
Puerto Ricans hate Cubans. Cubans hate Puerto Ricans. They don't get along. Cubans think they're the cream of the crop, but you know who really thinks they're cream? The Colombians don't like none of the other Puerto Rican, none of the other Latino races. They think they're way better. There was 2 Colombian guys in there, and the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, and the Dominicans, they hated them. He goes, dirt, scum. And they were the 2 guys, those are scum. We're the high class. Because I guess the 2 guys that were Colombians were doctors. I was locked up with a lot of doctors and a lot of medical people and a few lawyers and one big rapper. Pretty Ricky was in the room next to me, and he was a short little guy. He was I guess he was a big deal at one time. Pretty Ricky, they call him. I guess that was his stage name. Blue was his Diamond Blue Smith. His real name is Blue Smith is what his mother named him. That was his birthday, but he goes by Diamond Blue Smith, Pretty Ricky. And he had just got.
I like Pretty Ricky. That's
You know who I'm talking about? You know his music.
I have no idea who you're thinking of, but I like the name.
Well, he had just got 5 bullets to the chest before he got put into federal prison. They tried to gun him down. Another rapper tried to take him out in Miami. So he was recovering when he got a sentence. So he had to wait till he got recovered before they put him in the prison. But he got shot 5 times and lived. And he wasn't. Let's put it this way: there's black guys that are badass guys that are black, but he was more like a white black dude, man. He didn't like his own race. He just was not. Let's put it this way: he needed protection in there, and he paid money for everybody to protect. He would pay guys to get his tray. He was afraid to go out around anybody. That's how afraid he was. But he says it because he got shot and he didn't know who to trust. But people that were his fans were coming off, like guys were coming from all the dorms, bringing him fucking gifts. One guy brought a whole fucking bag full of sweats and underwear and socks. I'm talking brand new shit that you can't bring in. There was contraband. The guy had everything he wanted, and he was just he was like a little scared guy, man. But me and him got along real good because we were right next to each other. And if I cooked something or if I had some extra commissary, I'd feed him. He'd make up some shit, and he wants some of this, and he was real cool. He gave me his number. He said look him up when he got out because he was going to go back. He said when he played in Tampa, I would come backstage, but I don't know if he's out yet. I got to look him up and see. He had a little bit of time to do so. He did a scam. He got $1 million. He scammed a PP, what is it, PP loans or whatever they were giving out.
Yeah, fucking the COVID loans.
Yeah, he got $1 million. He said he woke up one day and had $1 million in his account, and he was part of a group of guys that they got big money. So he got caught, and there was a black guy who played basketball, but not American basketball. He played overseas basketball. He was he was on the Italian. He was a professional. He got paid for playing basketball, but played for Italy. And,
okay.
Yeah, because his wife was Italian and his wife was pure Italian. He met her in Italy and married her, and they had a child. And he was a very smart guy. And but he was a well-to-do person. He had education, college background. He had he had his own company. His father and mother were doctors. He was very well-to-do, but they slammed him in court, and he got like 5 or 6 years when he probably should only got 3. And he always said he used the black card. He goes, because I was black. I had a white judge. And I was black. I said, you know how it is, man. You know how it is. But he wasn't like a ghetto dude. He was like a preppy dude that dressed like a preppy guy.
He was no Larry Hoover.
Yeah, he was no Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover was a class act too, though. Larry Hoover, he
he's like one of the original OGs.
Yeah, he was one of he's the guy that he reformed how the street gangs were going to be, and he put order in how everything was going to be. But I couldn't understand that. I was talking to a guy that he got busted in jail. He was selling cocaine in jail. He was doing a 10-year bit, and he was moving 5 ounces a day of cocaine in prison. And he was $150 a gram, 5 ounces a day. He was sending so much money home to his family. He was making, I mean, you do the math. 28 grams to an ounce, $150 a gram. You do the math, selling 5 ounces a day. That's how big he was. He was like the guy in prison. And he got busted with 4 ounces. So had to go back before the judge and got another 6 years added on. But his original set was 25 years. So he was down to his last 10. So he said, what's another fucking 6? I already done 15. To him, it was like nothing. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You know? And he
Well,
was telling me,
that's the funny thing is well, it's not funny, but people become institutionalized,
right,
and
exactly. That's exactly right. You hit it
they
on the
they they like all of a sudden their life is in order,
right.
and all they know is the order of the prison.
Well, plus their power. Some of those guys have got power in the prison. You understand? So there's somebody in there. They're a shot caller. They're a guy making bank. They're a guy that's selling contract. They're just a guy that's somebody. They get out of prison. Let's put it this: if a guy goes in at 18 years old and gets a 40-year sentence, comes out, he's what? He's 58 years old. Now, if he had a family, most of them are gone. He come out to a world of technology that he didn't know what it was. He gets on the streets. There's no reform unless you plant yourself to get education. They don't really give a shit. They'd rather you work like a slave. So now you get out, you're 50, almost 60 years old, and you walk the streets and you're like, what the fuck? And then you're like, I got to go commit a crime to go back to jail because they don't know how to handle the street. And that's usually a guy that does 30, 40 years guaranteed to go back in prison within the first 6 months. They put themselves there. They can't, there's somebody in prison or nobody on the outside. And that you're right.
What was your job in prison? What did you
I didn't have
what
enough
did you
time.
have? What did they have you doing?
No, well, because we were pandemic and I was the first, like I said, I got there January 31st. I was sentenced November 8th. No, the original sentence was February 19th, but I got probation. When I violated my probation, I was brought before the judge November 8th, and they violated me and said they were going to give me 270 days. I had 45 days in, and then I waited to December 16th to get my 270 days. That brought me another 30 days. That was 30, and on the 40, at 75 days. So that's almost 3 months, and I got 270 days. So 75 days. So I had 195 days left, but the pandemic, they weren't moving. They were just, but I got COVID January 7th in the county jail. They came to move me to feds, and the sheriff said he can't go nowhere. He's in the infirmary with COVID. So they left. So I stayed in the infirmary for another 10 days. I was like on my deathbed with COVID because they don't care about you. They don't give you nothing in the prison fucking when you're sick like that. And I made it through that. And then I got called out. The sheriff goes, you got a phone call from the federal government. It was
You got
Marshall.
COVID in prison? That sucks.
I got COVID in the county jail while waiting to go to prison. So it was a Friday. I just got back to the dorm out of the infirmary, and the guard called my name over. He goes, Catalano, come to the sheriff's desk. I get out there. They buzz me out there. He goes, phone call. It's this Marshall's. He goes, Catalano, yeah, U.S. Marshal, so and so. Tighten up all your fares. If you got any clothes there, any wallets in storage, have your family sign a paper. Have your family. You cannot take nothing with you. You can't take your shoes. You can't take your clothes, your street clothes. You can't take your ID. Nothing. We don't have a holding place like the states do. So get someone to pick it up or it goes in the garbage. So I said, I got nobody to pick it up. He goes, I'll tell you what. I'll mail the stuff back. You got an address? I go, yes. So I go, my wallet's there. I go, what about when I get out? He goes, don't worry about it. Have someone bring your wallet when you get out. So I get there. They put it in the mail. They honored that. They sent my stuff home. Because you have a right to either throw your clothes out or donate it for someone that might need them. Or they throw your clothes out and they'll send your wallet and stuff. They'll put in an envelope and they'll mail it home. So I go, no, I want my clothes. So he sends it. So you show up. I show up in my fucking my county stuff, and he shackles me. They take the handcuffs off. He goes, you sit here and don't give these prison guards the federal guys any problem. I'm not. So the guy right off the bat, he's looking at my case, and he's asking me questions. I'm answering. He goes, and I didn't even. I wasn't like being like jerk off. I'm hungry. I didn't go. Can I take a shower, please? I just sat there and answered. And he goes, who's the fucking mastermind of this fucking organization? And I'm like, excuse me? He goes, boy, you and your wife are fucking beautiful here. And he goes, ah, man, I goes, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be fucking saying nothing. I'm just being a smart ass. And I'm like, I met the guy 3 minutes. He's fucking profiling me and making a fucking joke out of it. I'm like, whatever, man. So this guy right off the gate he was a Puerto Rican and he was an old dude that's been there a long time, getting ready to retire. Hated me, hated my fucking guts. I don't know what I don't know what I did to make this guy hate me, but he wound up being my counselor too. And this guy wouldn't. Everything I asked for, was no, purposely because he hated me. And I go, what is it about me you don't like? He goes, I don't like. You rub me the wrong way. I go, I never said a fucking word to you though. So the Puerto Ricans the Puerto Rican inmates, they knew him and they told him I was a good guy and he came up to me and he goes, all right, he goes, you got a good. The Puerto Ricans all love you, so I guess I'll take it easy on you. He goes, but you got to get a job. You got to go to work. I go, I got like 30 days left. I'm on disability. He goes, this is a work camp. You got to work. I said, I'm not working, so you can put me in the fucking hole. I don't give a fuck. I ain't working. I don't got enough time to get a job. They want to put you in over there to work, fucking make desks and fucking all that shit over at the what's it called? Unicore. To make
Unicore, yes.
Unicore, yeah.
Oh
I'm not
my
fucking with
God.
Unicore for 46 cents.
Yeah,
an hour.
Dude. The prison I was at Fort Dix.
Yeah, Unicore.
They had Unicore, and you know what?
Right.
You know what the Unicore job was?
What'd you have? Uniforms?
No, I didn't get that job because I wouldn't accept it.
Right.
The Unicore job was selling mailbags.
Oh, really? I mean, Unicore it's their biggest profit. How the government makes all their money in prison, and they pay you 46 cents, 56 cents an hour. You get it once a month. And now Unicore for us was making desks and the things that make the cubicles for offices. You know, the stuff that they put up to make the offices, the cubicles.
Yeah.
And you put those together, and then you put them, and then we had a big shipping thing with semis pull in there, and you had a loading dock, and you had the warehouse, and you could work computers. And I didn't want to do none of that shit.
Unicore is the biggest scam.
Oh, fucking biggest
scam. Besides, do you remember Keefe?
No.
That was the commissary provider.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember the name of them, but yeah, because it's it's a national. People don't realize it. The food that's served in the federal is a national menu, so every prison gets the same fucking thing. It's a national menu. You could look it up online. The National Federal Prison fucking meals.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
We used to get burgers.
Yeah, now they went to soy burgers on Tuesdays. Burgers were Tuesdays.
We used to get burgers,
right.
And they were and they were directly from Burger King.
Right.
And they would say, not for human consumption.
Yeah. They we had it made in the camp. So, now my wife said her prison the food was horrible, it was bland. We had all the Latinos cooking in our kitchen, and they stole everything. They come out with sacks of shit, and they would sell it on the decks. So you got to pay, like if you want a pizza made, maybe $20 for a pizza. They'll make you a real pizza in the oven. I mean, real shit. You put an order in the morning, and then you pay with stamps. Stamps is money in prison. Books of stamps, or cash app,
or mackerel.
Yeah, but stamps are gold. If you the guy that holds the most U.S. postal stamps is the guy that's the richest guy in there. And I'm talking guys that bundles of stamps. You trade for anything. I mean, you order anything you want, the guys will bring it to you. They deliver it. They go around after they get out of the kitchen, and they stole so much shit. And here's the best part: the guards will let them steal so much because they know they bust their ass. So the guards would turn their head just to let them steal enough, but not too much, so they can go make a little side hustle. It's all hustle, and you piece off the guards. And once you get to know the layout, you know how to maneuver the money and who to go see.
Exactly.
That's what I did. I was the guy that I maneuvered everything. I had my hands in every fucking thing because that was me. I was the guy. I hustled. So I took a piece of. I went in everything that made a buck. I didn't give a fuck. I was a lookout guy for 2 hours a night. I got $500 a month from the fucking Puerto Ricans on my books. They would send my wife money. They pay me. Their families would drop it on my book. All I did was stare out the window for 2 hours, let them know when the police were coming while they were bagging up all the drugs. That's all I did. I just sit there with fucking at the window, playing fucking watching the window. And then I would yell. I would just yell, yo, guard on deck, lieutenant on deck. And they fucking shoot. Cell phones would come through Unicore. I don't care. They know. What am I? Who cares? you know, and Unicorn, they shipped a lot of contraband. I guess they found like 150 phones one day. Package came into Unicorn through guys that inmates that work in shipping. Would you know they get paid? Hey, I'm gonna have my family. You guys, you're the package guy, and that's how they would do it. And then they bust them, and then they shut down the whole prison. Everybody gets penalized. It doesn't matter who they catch. They shut down the whole fuck. Everybody gets penalized. Commissaries taking away phone privileges, computer privileges. They penalize everybody, man. And the warden came over for the first time. He said, "You guys are way out of control here." They found a half a pound of meth and a half a pound of cocaine in the rafters. He said, "This is off the chain. You could get anything you want. You want a Burger King? Okay, nobody be in. Want a McDonald's? Whatever you want it. You want a steak and lobster? They'll be delivered to your fucking right to your fucking right to your. You pay for it, they get you anything you want. These guys had the hookups. It was unbelievable. It's prison. If you got money, you're rolling. You got money, you live like a king. If you're a guy that borrows and don't pay back, you're in big trouble. You know, so but you got to hustle. One guy had cigarettes. One guy did lighters. One guy, you know, just whatever. You know, when the commissary closed, they were selling a $2.75 bag of chips for $25. That's what you had to pay to the guys for the commissary guy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, $50 for a fucking 12-pack of Pepsi when the commissary shut down. That's what the going rate was. So if you had, you know, federal guys got money, so you pay for it, you get it, get what you want, man. But yeah, it was all right. I mean, bullshit time, but I couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there, man. It's still you're still confined and it ain't home. You know what I'm saying? So you know what you went through it. You were in hardcore places. That's the worst part. You were in some hardcore places. I got lucky. I got blessed. I didn't have to go do no hardcore play. I was in a fucking camp. You know.
Well, I stayed in a camp and then I got transferred.
Well, you got in trouble. Is that what happened? Because you violate one rule in the camp, they put you up in they take you to max. Just to teach you a lesson.
They took me to max. They took me to fucking Fort Devens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty rough over there, man. I can't imagine going to like what was the oldest prison in the system? What's that one place called? It's still open. What the fuck? I can't think of it. But it's still around. It's been around for 100 years. It's the oldest. What is it? No, Alcatraz be closed. It's the other one that's on the East Coast. Can't remember the name of it, man. But yeah, there's some shitholes, man. And you know, I liked when Trump was in, dude. He was going to close down a lot of places, and then all the lower crime guys were going to get out. They were closing all the camps, and he was like, "These big white collar crimes, fuck, wasting the money, send them to prison, send them home, put them on an ankle monitor, and let them go home and be in prison at home." He had the right idea, you know. But they're brutal, man. They treat you like shit. You're a mule. That's all you are. You're a unicorn mule, and that's what you are. And if you ain't got money, you don't get commissary. You eat. They feed you the bare minimum, and you can't survive on what you eat in there. You got to hustle. Peanut butter, Joe. I had all the peanut butter. Everybody came to me for peanut butter. I had all the fucking peanut butter, stacks of it.
I would have came to you.
Yeah, peanut butter. Everybody go see the Italian. He's got the peanut butter. One guy had this. This guy had the Spanish had the rice, and they made the fucking the Mexicans made the fucking burritos, and
yeah. Young, how about fucking prison nachos?
Nachos
in a fucking Tupperware bowl.
The best. I had that's
what
what's his name made.
You can't beat it.
Because you get all the stuff.
I still cannot replicate that.
You can't. Did you ever make a brick in? You ever make a brick in prison with the oodles and noodles? And you make the brick, and you grind. You crush the Fritos and the mayonnaise and mix up the mayonnaise and the mustard and you throw meats in there. It's lunch meat and sauce. They sell you a whole sauce, summer sausage. I used to buy them, cut them up, put them in a bowl, whip it up, and then layer out the fucking oodles and noodles. You boil it in a bag of water, and then you spread it out, and then you layer the stuff in, and then you bake it like a cake, and you put it and you let it sit, and it becomes a brick, and you just cut it in, and it's unbelievable, man. The shit you could eat, man. But that's crazy, man. I tell you what. Some guys got it made in there. Some guys got it rough, but it's all how you carry yourself, man. I would never want to do it again, but you know, I guess.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Somebody asked me one time. They said, if someone offered you $1 million for a year, another year in prison, would you take it? And I said, fuck no.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. $1 million ain't enough for me to do a year. There's guys that do that. Do you know there's guys that do that for a living? They do time for people for money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys. That's a business. I didn't know that. They got a fall guys. They pay them to go in, and the guys that got nothing but been in prison 6, 7 times. They just go in and do the year, 2 years, 3 years, and they do the time. They commit to the cop to the crime, and they get paid well. Big business for that. But I couldn't. I couldn't do that, man. I like my freedom too much, man. Like it too much. So, what was I going to ask you? What about who was your what was the old guy you used to work with? You had a partner, didn't you? What was his name back in the day?
Kane.
Oh, Kane. What's Kane's story? What's his story?
Kane's a good guy. Kane is he's probably one of the most genuine people I've ever met.
Really?
We became friends in Minneapolis, and when I was at 93.7 The Edge, it was called,
Right.
and he was the afternoon guy, and he really liked what I did on the air. So he
Cool.
became a fan of me, and that's actually how I got to New York City.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah, because I think I mean I don't know how true or how on point that Howard's movie was about his life. How he jumped from state to state to be a radio guy, which he really sucked in the beginning. He wasn't cutting it, and then he finally just figured it out, I guess. But he was different places until he got to the New York market with NBC, and that's when he blew the doors off of everything on NBC. That's when he went after NBC. He went to He went over to the what was the station? He went over at I forgot the name of the station. He went with before Sirius XM. Who was he with before Sirius XM? What was the big
K-Rock.
K-Rock? That's right, K-Rock. That's right. He was a K-Rock. Were you with K-Rock? Were you over? That's when you were there, right?
Yeah.
Did you do any Sirius? Did you go over to Sirius with them at all?
I went to Sirius for like a year and a half after I got out of prison.
Really? Did you know his? Do you know Howard's new wife, Beth?
Actually, was there the night he met her.
Oh, you were there tonight. So when he met her, that's when he was already getting divorced from his college sweetheart, right? The
Yeah.
one that has all his kids. He's got 3 daughters. He has no sons, right?
Well, I think he's gay, so
Yeah. Did you know that I was really his son? Clumpy
I
Stern
believe
is.
you.
My father Clumpy. I Clumpy Stern. How Stern my father? I Clumpy Stern. My father, he throw me away in the garbage, and I grew up in the sewer. I come back 40 years later. I'm Clumpy Stern. Yeah. I used to call into the fucking show and tell him. I used to call Sirius XM and prank him and tell him, I Clumpy Stern. My father Howard Stern. I'm out here on the street. I lose my cell phone. I need help. Patch me to my father. I used to fucking play pranks on them all the time. Sirius XM. I was addicted to Howard Stern. I got crazy fucking trying to get into that show, man. It was like it took over my whole life, consumed everything. I had to fucking break away. I was becoming like a fucking. You ever see that movie, The Fan, with Robert De Niro, where he was the super fan of baseball?
I did.
That's how I was becoming. I was a stalker fan. That's what I was.
I was actually in a movie called Big Fan.
Yeah, it was the movie Robert De Niro, The Fan. It's called with Wesley Snipes. So
No, I was in a movie called Big Fan with
you were in it.
Michael.
You were in it.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. And now they say John. Did he do a movie? He did Grease or something. He was the fucking. That's what they say. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know.
Google it.
I gotta Google it. Yeah, Google tells you everything. So did you fucking you met a lot of stars when you hung around all those stations, huh? You met some people in your time, huh?
A lot of rock stars.
Mostly rock stars.
Lot of musicians.
Right. That's cool. I don't know if you know Vince the lawyer, but for years I've been trying to get this fucking high pitch Eric to be fucking not a douchebag to me. And I fucking got tired. I called him to Vince yesterday. I said, listen, I'm tired of this fucking high pitch Eric fucking hanging up on me, calling the police on me, fucking, calling Shuley up and saying, oh, he fucking doxed my fucking number, fucking Joey.C. So he goes, I don't have to come on your show. This is what he's telling me yesterday. Vince goes, let's call him up right now. We'll go fucking, you can battle it out with him right here. So Vince goes, I'm vouching for Joey.C. Herrick. He's one of us. He's a good guy. Oh, and he said you could come live at his house if you're homeless. And then someone in my chat room lit up and go, "You just made the biggest fucking mistake." In Vince's chat, he'll fucking show up at your doorstep, I guess, high pitcher, and fucking move in, you know. And then my wife said if he shows up here, she's coming to live with you. That's what she told me.
You do a really good high pitch Eric impersonation.
I thank you. When I'm on point, I can do it. So I did it with him yesterday. He's like, "Oh, fuck you." And Vince goes, "Now, Joey.C, if he calls you, take his call." "Okay, Vince, I'll do it." Like, that motherfucker used to shug me and all the time, and he's like he was better than me. I'm like, motherfucker. But I just like fucking with him. I've been trying to get a hold of Beetlejuice. I never can get through that guy. His manager won't allow you 1 ounce, anywhere near that fucking guy. The guy that takes care of him, the boxer dude. You can't get near him without going through that guy, man. The guy the brother that was the circus guy that took him around. He had when he made him the midget thrower, the guy that used to have the act with him and the other dwarfs, and then he died. And then the brother, the boxer, the Irish boxer, took over Beat's career. But Shuley, he knows all that. Man, I wish Shuley would bring those guys all back on this fucking Dabbleverse, man. They got Wendy here, and I guess High Pitch did do Shuley's show way back when, and Vince is in with all them guys, and it's cool, man. I always considered myself. I would have been a whack packer, I think. You know, I could have been one. You know, I was on crack. I could have been a crack fucking whack packer. You know what I'm saying? Smoking the crack, cheaping the pipe. Fuck, I used to love it. Fuck, man. I'll tell you a story. Here's a good cab story. I'm 25 years old, and I'm living in Lake Tahoe. My youngest son was born there, and I'm driving a cab for Sierra Taxi. Now, the owner was a guy by the name of Anthony. I forgot, an Italian guy. And there's a guy, Gino. And it's funny because you got Anthony and Gino that are here. But this is a guy named Gino who was a crooked dispatcher. And I fucking busted my ass at night and never getting these fucking calls. I hear him telling drivers, landline me. So I'm not stupid. I come from the city. That motherfucker's feeding these drivers calls, right? I know he is. And I go in there and I go, "Hey, what the fuck's up with that?" He goes, "You've been on the job 3 days and you're questioning me?" I said, "Listen, motherfucker, I'm not stupid. What's your fucking end so I can get some of these high-priced fucking calls you're giving out to these other drivers? What makes you think I'm doing that?" I go, you think I'm fucking born yesterday?" So he goes, I don't know you. I don't know if I can trust you. So I go, "Listen, you tell me your price. I got a fucking kid that I just got born. I got to make some cash, dude. And this place is dead. There was no snow. They were counting on the ski. You know, that's a ski capital. Was for the snow to come into the ski resort. So I fucking worked this guy, and he let me in. And he was feeding this guy, Big Mike, all these fucking calls. The guy was making like $200-300 a night. And I was making like $50-60 going home with like $30, man. You know, I'm like, fuck this, man. And
yeah, because you got to pay to clean the cab.
Yeah,
and you got to pay your gas.
Gas, you got to make sure you top it off for the fucking guy, the morning driver, because you would pick him up in the morning, go to the gas station, you know. And I worked all fucking night, man. So I wound up selling drugs out of the cab. I did. That's what I did. I had to make it. I had to sell. I took a lot of Mexicans, and I got tight with the bank. So I'm like, you know, trying to talk with them, and the guy goes, one day he threw me an 8-ball. He goes, "Work with this, and let me know how you like." So I bag up shit, and I sell it to people in the fucking cab, man. And then I right away go pay for the 8-ball and make here's a core. I started doing that shit myself, man. And then finally the guy goes, he was given they had the chicken ranch runs from Lake Tahoe down to not Reno, but what's the other town where all the chicken ranches are? I can't remember what the fucking name of the town. I gotta look this up. Chicken ranches are they're halfway between Reno and Lake Tahoe. Chicken ranches. Let me see. Chicken ranches. Let me see. Chicken ranches are called ranches. Chicken ranches. Town, Nevada. Let's see. Nevada. It's called. They are in the brothels. Are in. Shit. What the fuck? The list of brothels in Nevada. They're called Chicken Ranch. I'm trying to get the town here. I can't find the fucking.
I've never been to a brothel.
Never been there. So let me tell you how this setup works. I'm trying to think of the damn town. What's the Chicken Ranch town in Nevada near Reno? Reno, Nevada. Let's see. It's called what the fuck? Illegal brothels, licensed brothels in they Homestead. No, that's not it. Mountain Reno. No, it's outside of Reno. Anyhow, it's a small town outside of Reno. It's about 60-70 miles round trip to the Chicken Ranch. And here's how it works. You go in when a guy comes into the car and he says, "Take me to the ranches." You automatically jack the price up. You tell him it's $250 round trip, $125 down, 120. That you wait for him, and when you get to the parking lot, everything's got doorbells, gates, and it's a whole fucking line of chicken ranches. And you ring the doorbell, and the first thing you say when the madam says, "Can I help you, please?" CB, you say, cab driver. You say that. So she knows you're a cabbie. She knows to tell the girls the cabbie's bringing in a client, so they jack the prices up because you got 25% kickback or whatever the guy spent to the cab driver,
Are
right?
you
And then you got
serious?
to kick back. Yeah. So if a guy went in there and made, I mean, I had one guy that stayed there 40 something hours. Now, let me tell you something. They treat you like a king there. They make you breakfast. They give you a room to sleep if you're tired. They ask you if you'd rather have a girl instead of the tip, whatever, it's first rate. So he gives you 25%. This guy spent like $5 grand. He had like 6 different girls tipping. So I got 25% of that, which is $12.50, correct? And
Right?
then you got to kick back 25% to the madam. That's the rule. Kind of just like the mafia, how it works. You kick up to the boss kicks up to the big boss. Same way. So I get $12.50. I got to give her 25% of $12.50, so 300 something, and you pay her. And it's a racket, man. And I would get those runs, and because it was the people, you get these drunk guys that hit big at the casino, and they want to go right to the whorehouse, legal brothels, and they're nice down there, man. And the girls line up, and you go in, and he picks, and you could take 2, 3, 4, whatever you pay for. But it was pretty good, man. I used to love those runs. It's called the Chicken Ranch run. So I had a good time doing that, man. The Ski
See,
Valley runs were good,
we
huh?
had we had airport runs. That was it.
Yeah, I did a lot of airport runs too. Yeah, that's big runs. Uh, But then I left there after a couple years and went back to Chicago, and I drove in Chicago. I wrecked my cab in Chicago. I was 29 years old, and I got in a fight with some moron, and I actually I was a passenger that was arguing with the customer, and they grabbed me while I was going down a side street, and I took my hands off the wheel, one hand, and I turned around to push him off, and I crashed into the car. He got out and ran, and I got in trouble. I was going to run too, but I got in trouble. And then I had to pay for the cab to be fixed. That's because they don't give a fuck. Even if they're insured, if it's your fault, you gotta pay for all. You gotta pay the owner of the cab. You know how it works. You gotta pay a lease. You gotta pay fucking gas. You gotta pay all this bullshit. So eh, when I started making money is when I got to Florida. That's when I made money with the cab. That's when I got a lot of great stories. You had to have a hell of a lot of stories. You drove in Minnesota too? Did you drive up in Minnesota?
Yeah, I drove in Minnesota the longest.
That's cool. Yeah, small towns are great, man. They're really good. Let's go. I don't. We've been 2 hours and 7 minutes. Let's go over to Rumble. I want to read these super chat because it's nice that we do that and interact with it. We've been talking, and I know they've been loving the stories. We got a lot of. We'll do a show. We want to do. I was thinking about we'll put this together. This was the pilot. Maybe we could do this show every Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Me and you, and then you'll get used to doing. Once you get more used to, and like I said on Rumble, you could talk a little more freely, and you'll get back in the swing of things, and then we'll get you rolling. But we got the Taste of Ashes. I got a guy who went in the VR chat. The guys are ganged up and bullied him. Yeah, happens a lot. Uh, Fearless 31 Beat Saber is my jam. Anything with music, VR chat is fucked up. I don't play anything with people can't talk. Too many unsupervised, rude children not going to talk shit to a kid. That's a good point. We don't want to talk nobody should talk kids. Kids are kids and they get a pass. We already read that one, but we got Mason the Port who gave us $10. That was nice of him. We appreciate everybody that came out tonight. Anything you want to touch on, Cabby? This is for you, baby. This is for me and you. I think the chemistry's there. Uh, I think people see that. I think this is going to be. We can make this a big podcast. I definitely vibe with you, man. You're a good dude. We got a lot in common. Um,
We do have a
you're,
lot
you're
in
like
common.
we do got a lot in common. We got a lot of the same things we've been through. We both were cab drive, both been to prison. We both are fucking psychos. We both like to fight. We've been through it all. But Mason in Portland, we want to thank you, brother. We went over to Rumble. You didn't have to do that. We appreciate that. That was nice of you. James Dixon is here. Thank you.
Thank
Uh,
you, Mason.
yeah, thank you. Gianni, friendly, Mrs. Joey.C is a nice lady. Thank you for that. She is a nice lady. And Cabbie's got a wonderful girl too that takes good care of him. He talks highly of her. She was actually in the background the last time, a couple times, said hello to me, and she watches all the shows. She's a fan of some of the shows, and and he's a lucky man too. And I did give Cardiff. I asked him if he wanted to come on. He didn't show up. I don't know why. I sent out a link to see if Casey wanted to pop in and say hi to us. But we'll maybe get one of those guys on next week, and we'll bust their balls a little bit. So
All right, buddy.
I appreciate it tonight. Anything you want to say to the fans? Crazy Cabbie's back. I love this guy. Like I've known him my whole life. He's going to become my new brother, man. Hey, do you ride Harleys before you were able to? Did you have a Harley? You ever ride bikes back in your day?
Why? Because I'm a cripple. You have to bring
No.
up
I said
motorcycles.
before you became crippled.
I actually never had a Harley. I had a Triumph.
A Triumph. So, but you
Yeah.
were a big motorcycle guy. I got a Harley still. I got an older Harley. I miss riding. I haven't drove in a couple years, man. And I'm debating if I want to get rid of it or put it back together. I bought a bunch of new parts for it because I needed it. It's 21 years old, my bike, and it was a great bike, and it needs a new paint job. And I'm debating what I want to do, man. I don't know. Might be that I'm just not going to be able to handle driving no more because of my condition and shit. So I don't know. I got to make a big decision. It's kind of my baby, you know. I don't want to sell it, you know.
What's
But,
your condition?
well, I got with this high blood pressure, and I kind of got possibly congenital heart failure because I've gained all this weight, and I can't even go upstairs without getting out of breath. I got a lot of breathing problems, and I get dizzy, and I get faint. I find myself where I get real dizzy when I stand up, and a couple times I drop to the floor, and I got a lot of tests that are being run, but a lot of it's to do if I could eat right, get away from sugar. I'm not allowed to have. I'm not supposed to have any sugar at all. I've cut down tremendously. I used to drink 15 cans of Coke a day and 5-6 candy bars a day. Is what I used to. That was my whole intake. Sugar, and it's not good
Right.
for me. And my feet swell up, and my ankles swell up really bad, which is all part of congenital heart failure. So I got to watch myself because I can have I can just, I lose oxygen, I get dizzy, and I don't sleep right, and it's just a lot of shit that I got going on, man. It's all from the drugs. It's all my fault. All the drugs I did in my life, I did it to myself. So it's all good. I can handle it.
Well,
And,
that's like me. I said karma's a bitch, and
karma's a bitch.
I'm
Yeah.
dealing with karma right now.
Well, I got to tell you, brother. If I had the will to do anything for you as a friend, I would do it for you, brother. There ain't too many things I wouldn't do for you. You're a righteous dude. I wish I'd have met you back in the day. You're a guy I would have been best friends with, and I would have been like my blood brother. I would have definitely saw myself being around you every day. So
I agree.
great. I agree. I'm grateful that I have it now with you, and I think we can build a great friendship. But we're talking about travel a little bit. And I said, first place we go see Cabbie. That's the first stop we go. We go hang out with Cabbie and visit with him. So she's down with that. I'm just waiting on a few things that are happening. Uh, Hopefully that everything will be good for me again at the end of this year, by the beginning of January. And if we could make some things happen, then I could feel a lot better. I think get rid of the stress I got going on in my life. So, but all right, man. Everybody, this is Crazy Cabbie and Joey.C. We hope you enjoyed tonight. We thank you, Cabbie. I'll talk to you. I'll give you a shout tomorrow, brother.
Thank you,
Everybody,
guys. I
thank you.
appreciate everybody who tuned in and listened.
Thank you, guys, and we're going to tune in for next week because we're going to bring a lot to you. This is the first run. Cabbie is his girlfriend advised him to take it easy and just learn everything. Because him, he's like a pistol like me. He don't got no filter like me. You know how I go off and I'll say he's the same way, man. That's the way to be. But unfortunately, these rules keep us from doing that. But we love you guys, and we'll see you. We'll see you next week. I'll be back on probably sometime tomorrow doing something. And then, of course, Tuesday with the Tuesday show at 6:00. And we thank you, and everybody have a great night. Cabbie, love
And
you, brother.
drink your wine.
Drink your wine. We love you, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Later.
Good night.
Later.
Good night, brother. Later, bro. All right, everybody.